That ESPN banner really bothered Pat.
Why?
That was funny when he mentioned that.
I don't know if you know it, but over your shoulder, there's an ESPN banner. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, it's not our studio, man. I mean, I guess you could do. Are you going to have to start doing what I did there for that year and a half?
I mean, I could.
I mean, he's got his Hams t-shirt on. I mean, come on. So then for the 9 o'clock hour, do we peel it back down?
That's funny.
Any word from the boys as how the Madonna Beyonce weekend went? To Corey?
Oh, no. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah. Just so about the 9 o'clock hour, you know.
I was very busy this weekend. I'm getting ready for Thanksgiving. I made 2 loaves of bread for the stuffing so I can have my own breadcrumbs.
Wow. That seems like something you could buy.
It is. I've got the ice cream in the refrigerator, the custard base, vanilla.
Okay.
That goes in the ice cream maker today.
Do you have like syrup and stuff to go with it, or just plain
pies?
Oh. And not only that, plural.
Pies.
Pies.
Apple, pecan, and the wife will make a pumpkin cake.
Huh. How many people you got coming over?
7, and then my son gets there late. Like, he won't be there for dinner. He'll be there after. He's having dinner at his mother's and then flying after that.
Oh.
That's just when the flight was. I like, you want to come down? There's a flight. It was a cheap flight. I'm like, you want to come down? I can get you a flight. Leaves 5:45 out of Raleigh. You can have dinner with your mom. Scoot. Be here by 8. We'll play golf on Friday. We'll watch football on Saturday. You'll drive. You fly back on Sunday. He's like, I'm in.
You know, if you want to, you work in a booty call, you know, it's 2 hours away.
Exactly. Well, and her mom lives in Marco, so there's a chance she may be down here.
Well, uh-oh.
I got to start hassling her. You spending all 3 nights here? Are you going on to Marco for a night? How's this going to work?
That'd be great. That'd be so. You've waited years to get to this point.
You want to have Grammy spend the night at our house, and you can have her place? How are we going to?
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you on this Monday of Thanksgiving week. Hope you had a great weekend. Thanks for starting your week off with us as we ask the question, how the heck are you? Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Thanks so much for being with us. Top of the morning to you, Mark. How are you?
I'm doing well. This is one of the great weeks of the year, David. I am fast forwarding. I'm putting last week already in the rearview mirror. I'm looking ahead. It is one of the great eating days that we have in this nation. It is rivalry week. We have great football all weekend long. So I am just in a terrific mood. Family and friends and all that kind of good stuff. I'm fired up. Genuinely fired up. There's no sarcasm in that. I know you paused there for a second. That's genuine, because when you say you're fired up about family, not everybody believes you.
Well, and not everyone is fired up about family also. Let's be honest. I mean, they may have to fake it on the outside, but not necessarily feeling it on the inside. But I know that's not the case with you, and that is awesome. Hope it's the same way for everyone who is listening. So you're entertaining what, 7, 8 people on Thanksgiving?
Yeah, small affair. A very small affair. Not the big 13 people that are going to be in the Moulton household.
14. One was added. Once not invited. Also, I honestly, we did not extend an invitation to any of the 14 people. They all ended up basically picking up the phone and saying, "Hey, we want to come over."
No.
Okay. Well, that's just it. I mean, here's the real problem. The first person that called is beloved niece. Okay, love her. Okay, really like her husband, and she's got 3-year-old Emma, who's adorable. All right, so I mean, that was the problem. That was the problem. It's kind of like being the bouncer at the bar, Mark. All right, once you let in the first group of people who were not standing in line and waiting patiently, everybody else goes, "What about us?" And that's what happened here. Once you know Once Audrey, Mitch, and Emma, okay, we let through the door, it was over. All right, that's it. Plus,
Yeah,
also,
either that, like to me in my head, and I like your analogy. Mine is simply more of the high school parents are out of town for the weekend, and you invite a couple of people, and everybody finds out. That's what
yeah,
this sounds like to me. It's like mom and dad are gone for the weekend. Hey, the Moultons are having a party. No, we're not. Yes, you are.
also it's my wife and I, but also it's my mother-in-law. She's getting up there in years, and also you've got grandkids and people, a son, and they're like, hey, I'd like to spend it with mom. Oh, well, what am I going to do? Say, well, no, that's not allowed.
A lot of
So,
pressure on the Moulton household this year.
well, it grew. It did. It did. There's no question about it. But my wife is just she's the people person. Oh yeah, she's the minister's daughter. She's the one with the great heart, big heart, great soul. I mean, not me. Okay, and so yeah, just the more the merrier. Meanwhile, I mean, we have seating for 6. But okay, sure, we'll make this work.
However, you need to get it done, David.
Yeah, already bought an extra table and chairs. And not only that, I mean, to feed 14 people, it costs $10-12. So, yeah, sure. Okay, absolutely. Come on over. I'll break this down. Cost per hour. It'll be like, renovating the condo all over again. It'll be, except the
Unfortunately, no billable
construction
hours
delays.
here, David. No billable hours for
No
you.
billable hours. Fortunately, no construction delays. But, otherwise, pretty good. Hey, serious question. And it's 5 minutes into the week. I don't know if I should get this serious, but is it fair to hold the starting quarterback's injury against the Knolls? You know what I'm getting at. I mean, no guarantee, by the way, without their starting quarterback, they're going to be able to win their next 2 games. But if they do, is it fair to hold it against them that they're not as good as they were in mid-November when we are awarding playoff spots in early December?
Boy, David.
Is it fair?
No. It's not fair. But then again, we all know the cliche.
Because also, I mean, if you're Florida State, and besides the fact that you don't want to be talking about the playoffs because, the Gators will use it overlooking us, Louisville will use it overlooking us. But I mean, let's face facts, though. This sport is based on public opinion. So I don't think Florida State will do this. But what they need to do is they need to get their friends in the media to do it for them. You need to start showing examples of what teams have done with backup quarterbacks. Whether you have to use NFL as an example, whether you have to use college, you need to talk about what is still possible with a backup quarterback, so that people don't think that, well, now that you're playing with your backup quarterback, that, well, there's no chance, and you know what, that they can win games in the playoffs. Really? Because obviously there are dozens of examples of teams that have gone to their backup quarterback and won games. I mean, teams have won the Super Bowl with backup quarterbacks. They've done the whole NFL playoff run with a backup quarterback. So, but if you're Florida State, is it fair? And for some, since Florida is in it, and, Florida Sports Network and all that, I mean, just put any team's name there. Is it fair to keep them out of the playoff because late in the season they lose their starting quarterback? Because, Mark, then what ends up happening is college football, we go to what? When push comes to shove, what do we want to do? Beauty contest.
Right. We want to go to the eye contest. We don't want to go to resume.
Right. Yeah. No. Hey, and listen.
My eyes can tell me better than a resume can tell me what a good football team is. I've known this. I know it better than you.
And remember what was beginning to happen last week. People were already making the case that maybe a 13-0 Florida State just, who'd they play? Their resume. Should they be in the playoff? Beginning to make the case of, should Washington, if they run the table, be in ahead of them? Should a one-loss team, loser of Ohio State, Michigan? What if Alabama beats Georgia? Mark, we are resume guys. And we always have been.
Always have been.
We're resume guys. But if you do the beauty contest, and we're going to have Gary Danielson coming up in a little more than 45 minutes. I mean, I said to Gary during a commercial break, I go, listen, I don't vote this way. But if you ask the question, who are the 4 best teams in college football? I go, there's no way there's 4 teams better in Georgia. I go, even if Alabama beats them, I go, there's not 4 teams better in Georgia. And that may not make sense, but I mean, just if you watch them, you're like, wow, this is a solid, well-rounded. We don't have 4 that are better than this. We got 6, 7, 8 that can play with this and maybe on their day beat them. And we don't have 4 that are better than this. And so once again, how do you frame the argument? Vegas is going to start getting used against Florida State, Mark.
They will. And you just, in that last comment, got into what the big question is. 4 best.
Right. Right.
Because then it's just an opinion. Then resumes don't matter.
Right.
Then how are we not, then all of a sudden Alabama running the table would get in ahead of Florida State because, well, they're just better.
Well, hell, there are people, a lot of people, I think we're in the minority. There are a lot of people that if Alabama runs the table, wants to put them ahead of Texas. Both 12-1, both conference champions in theory. Texas beat Alabama in Alabama by 10. And people want to put Alabama in. Well, but if they played now, but they
don't know what to tell you. They played. They had the shot.
But yes, it depends on how you want to define best and when you want to define best. Do you want to define best over the course of 14 weeks? That's how Miller and Moulton define best. A lot of people want to define best as to Sunday morning, December 3rd.
In fact, most. It's easy. I don't know if it's easier, but it fits the narratives of both what Fox and ESPN are doing to have it be December 3rd. It just does. It fits the talk show mode. It fits the pregame show mode, and it fits the SEC Big Ten mode.
Which, let's face it, that's what we're left with in college football.
Because I think the narrative will quickly start turning, and Washington helped dismiss this for another week. But if Washington would have lost, I think you would have started the talk of Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan again, all four of them making it. Because we'll get into just who the best four teams are.
So that's what I'm wondering. Is it, and I don't know if that's a worthy poll question or not, or just a worthy point of discussion. Is it fair to penalize Florida State for their starting quarterback getting hurt? And you know what we mean by that. It means that we go, hey, congratulations, great year. But you can't be in the playoff. Not without, not without Travis. Sorry. You're not a playoff team without Travis. Yeah, but look at what we did. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Tough break. Good luck in the Peach Bowl. I mean, we'll put you in the New Year's, 6 game.
Right, we'll give you the New Year's 6 game.
I mean, how about you and Tulane? How do you feel about that? Huh?
In fact, you know what? We'll give you the loser of the Michigan-Ohio State game so we can prove our point.
Right. So that's all. Just wondering. Now, of course, Gators could beat them. Louisville could beat them. Although the Gators are going to be without their quarterback, too. Oh, tough loss for the Gators. Wow. 4th and 17. Miller and Moulton. Another crazy day in the NFL. We'll get to that next. Thanks for listening, Florida Sports Network.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
So on Friday, Wes, I'm driving in Saturday morning and flying back Saturday night. So Friday, I'm flying out and lots of repairs to the Jacksonville airport, and they just opened up this new section, TSA section. All right. We all start going through it. First off, everybody going through, the x-ray, everybody sets it off. And I mean everybody. And okay. So then every single one of our bags is not making it through. And nobody there thinks that anything's wrong. At 35 minutes. They were, and so me, I go, hey, do you think maybe you got things set on the wrong settings? I go, this is TSA. I go, every one of us is getting stopped going through x-ray. I go, every one of our bags is not making it through. Then when you're opening up our bags, you're checking our electronics. Isn't that the point of TSA? So we can bring our electronics through? And the lady looks at me. I go, ma'am, you just swabbed this guy's food in his Tupperware. I go, what's going on? This is TSA. And she says, oh, come on, the lines aren't that bad. I go, ma'am, that's not the point. And secondly, you do know it's Thanksgiving next week, right? I go, you do this next week. I go, it'll take 4 hours to get through here. Supervisor comes over. I go, hey, I got plenty of time. I don't care. I'm not making a scene. I go, but don't you find it odd? Every one of us is setting the x-ray thing off. I go, and every one of our bags is not making it through. I go, that doesn't seem odd to you? I go, I fly all the time. I've never seen this. I don't know. We'll have to look into it. You think? Yeah, I don't know. That was my weird travel experience of the weekend.
I was at Publix yesterday. Was it Publix? Must have been. Somewhere, yeah, because it was a 12 and under or 10 and under. And I did not have 10 items. I had 8. 2 ladies in front of me. One had 2 items. One had about 5. The guy in front of her had about 12 to 14. And the lady in front of me is openly talking about it. And I'm like, that's my girl right there.
Yes.
I jumped right in. And we had the conversation. I said, look, I have sweet potatoes. There's 5 sweet potatoes in this bag. This is one item. It's weighed.
Right.
If it were per sweet potato, it would be 5. She said, exactly. Exactly.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour, top of the morning to you. How the heck are you? I'm in Kansas City. I hear there's a fairly big, entertaining game tonight. Chiefs hosting the Eagles, expected to be in the 40s and raining pretty much throughout, by the way. And let me tell you, 40s and rain, lovely. Lovely. Nothing like flying into it, nothing like driving around in it, nothing like walking around in it. 40s and a consistent light drizzle to at times rain, glorious. Awesome.
There's a couple football games that look like that this weekend.
Yep, it's that time of year, baby. Yep, it's gray. The leaves have fallen and turned. Oh, yeah.
I know we're going to talk a little NFL here, but that Oregon State-Washington game looked to be a whole new level of miserable. Because that looked to be more like 35.
Yep.
32 to 35, where every once in a while the rain looks like it might be sleet.
And there was a moment in the second quarter there which it was like both sidelines were like, I'm freezing. No, I'm freezing. I'll fumble. No, I'll fumble. No, we're going to fumble. No, we've been standing. It was okay while we were warming up, but now that we're standing here during the game and, man, I'm getting cold and I'm wet. When's halftime? Yeah, the second quarter got sloppy. So my favorite thing's going on right now. for those that are watching on Twitch, the lighting situation in my room is not that great. So I've got every potential light in the room on, just trying to brighten it up, including I have the TV on. I never have the TV on, but I have the TV on and turned towards me, just trying to bring a little brightness off the TV, onto me. And so, Mark, I made the mistake of putting local news on. Well, there's only one thing happening in Kansas City today.
Yeah,
There's
the
a
Chiefs
football
game.
game. Right. And so what I'm enjoying is, and this could be a poll question if anybody cares. So every time they go live, and of course, KSHB NBC 41 is live at the game, at 5:23 in the morning local time, and every reporter is wearing Chiefs attire. News, sports, every time you go on camera, there's someone wearing a Chiefs jersey, hat, what have you. And I'm just laughing. I'm like, come on, really? And so, that's a poll question. Is it okay if the local news station is
Yes.
really, really? I don't know. That's a pet peeve of mine. I never had to do that. I swear I never had to do that.
Well, I mean, not to be a jerk here, you would have had to do it for a minor league team because you worked in
Yes.
minor league cities.
Absolutely.
I'm
Was
not
never-
trying to be smart.
Right. No.
You never worked in the NFL city, in the NBA
Correct.
city.
Right. No, it was
You didn't
always
have a job anywhere in Wisconsin where it would have been required that you wear Packers gear.
right.
You
Exactly.
were only over a couple of states. So,
right.
but I have no problem with it.
So, but it's true. I worked in markets where the minor league team was playing for and winning championships and what have you. I never got dressed up in their hats or jerseys. Covered the college teams playing for and winning national championships, including Penn State back in the mid 80s. I could have worn Nittany Lions garb. That would have gone over well in Scranton, Pennsylvania.
You should have.
Maybe I should have. Maybe
Looking
it's
back, maybe that was the big break you needed, is to be a touch more of a homer.
Yep.
And a little
That's
bit
true.
more of a true
Right.
journalist.
Right. I mean, stop trying to be fair and balanced. Okay. Just be a homer. Get partisan. That's a dadgum good point. I mean, look at where we've gone. Okay. We started trying to be fair and balanced, and now we're just trying to be, partisan homers. And it seems to be working in news and sports.
Exactly.
Yep, you're right. But
The Dolphins got away with playing. What would you call that effort yesterday?
C for them, C minus. Probably overall, a C. I mean, 3 turnovers, even though they forced 3 turnovers, but 3 turnovers. For the 5th time in 6 games, they held an opponent to under 300 yards.
Yeah, the defense is bailing out the offense now.
And the offense had over 400 yards of offense. And yet it looked messy. It didn't look fluid. Didn't you keep waiting the whole game? I was not yelling at the TV, but I was talking to the TV going, come on, Dolphins, get it together. Put the drive together here. Put them away. What's going on?
Were you channeling your inner Cher, wanting to slap them and say, snap out of it?
Well, yeah, I was just kind of like, listen, one damn drive, 5 minutes. Come on, 9 plays. Really? Yeah, you start, get the ball to Tyreek. Okay, fine. And then, run the ball. You're running the ball fine. Run the damn ball. Little play action. Okay, the middle's open. They got 9 guys running with Tyreek, who they still can't cover. Okay, somebody's got to be open elsewhere. And then they're showing examples of guys open and Tua, for whatever reason, not seeing them and throwing somewhere else. It's kind of like, what's going on today? But listen, this is the National Football League, Mark. You take the win and you just move on. You forget about it. You go.
That's all. There's nothing more important on Sundays than putting a notch in the win column. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter how. It just matters if you get it done. And Miami got it done yesterday, and they can move on now.
But, I mean, there was a point in time yesterday, Mark, in which it looked like all four teams that had the top four picks in the draft were going to win. Arizona's down 5 to Houston, and twice they're driving in the red zone or on the edge of the red zone late. And you're like, wow, they're going to beat the Texans. Then Washington just gave the game to the Giants. Here. No, we don't want the ball. Here. No, take the ball. Here. 6 turnovers. That's amazing. And then, the Bears. I'd like to congratulate the Chicago Bears. Everybody associated with them is going to be unemployed soon. And listen, just know when you're unemployed, you made history this weekend. You did. No team in the NFL had ever been +3 in turnovers and possessed the ball for over 40 minutes and lost. And you pulled that off Sunday.
Congratulations.
Matt Eberflus and the guys. Way to go. And Trent, and to all you Lions fans, for the rest of the year, you are not allowed to say same old Lions, because there is no way that the Lions would ever win a game like that ever in your life. Don't care how old you are either. It is not the same old Lions. I don't want to hear it. Not for the rest of the year.
No, you're right, David, because I was thinking it while I was watching the game going, look at this. They're going to lose this game today. Everything's right there for them. An opportunity perhaps to be a 1 seed, something that Lions fans can't even comprehend. And they're blowing this game against the Chicago Bears. And yet they pulled it out. They snatched victory from the jaws of defeat, unlike a normal Lions team that snatches defeat from the jaws of victory. You're right.
And instead of late when they're down 12 and you're thinking, oh man, if Minnesota goes into Denver tonight, we got a real race now in the NFC North. They'll be 1 game back, blah, blah, blah. Now, what happens? You win, they lose. Oh, and if the Chiefs take care of business tonight, you're tied for the 1 with the Eagles. And the Eagles have their toughest part of their schedule coming up in the next month. Really good teams for the next month.
And you play one team with a winning record, I think, the rest of the way.
Yeah, Dallas. Well, and the 2 with Minnesota.
Oh, the Vikings still have a winning record. You're right. Sorry.
The last three for the Eagles are Cakewalk City. They have the Giants twice in their last 3. For the Lions, they had the Vikings twice and Dallas. So
they do have the Broncos too, who are all of a sudden
who are now 5-5. True. And Mark, I'm begging you.
Never. I'm done.
Thank you.
It's over.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
over.
You. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here at 6:30 on Monday, November. Is this the 20th?
It is
Mark
the 20th.
Miller has finally abandoned the San Diego / Los Angeles Chargers.
I need an attorney. I am filing for a divorce.
Thank you.
I am done with the Chargers. I have abandoned them. I'm leaving them.
They've cheated on you one too many times.
Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Hey, does Jalen Ramsey look any good? Does he look like a good player at all? No? Does he look like maybe he could make a difference come the postseason, covering the other team's number one receiver? Huh. I'm just wondering. Adam, there was a 6-5 Auburn team 2 years ago against a 10-1 Alabama team. And the 6-5 Auburn team was a worse looking team than this one, who I think entered with a 3-game losing streak. And they had Alabama beat if the running back stayed in bounds.
Speaking of staying in bounds, ATN, the Florida game.
Yeah.
He stays in bounds. I don't know. They got to eat their timeout.
4th and 17, though.
No, I know.
Yeah. We're taking an Uber to near the stadium, and we walk down the hill and through the parking lot. And yes, we have been offered not just food but beverage while walking through the parking lot.
You take an Uber from the hotel to the game tonight?
Yeah, because we're in the escape.
Ah.
But not the car, but just us. They're going to put us in a car. Apparently, they have to limit the number of cars in the escape. No, they don't. But anyway, whatever.
David, sometimes you got to just worry about.
Yep, totally. Yep, totally. Just, hey, I wanted to be in the escape. I don't care how. I even offered to Uber to the game. It makes no difference to me. I don't care. Just, I don't want to get back to the hotel at 2 a.m. That's all. Like last week with the escape, we got back to the hotel 1:45. And Buffalo's madness. And Kansas City's worse. So I don't know, Ambient. I thought Russ kind of bailed it out yesterday. Plus, they just couldn't score touchdowns yesterday. They were in the red zone like 6 times, scored 1 touchdown. The traffic lady's got her Chiefs blouse on. No logo, but the perfect Chiefs orange color.
By the way, two Josh Allen jerseys in church.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes before the top of the hour. Gary Danielson will join us at the top of the hour. Chris Landry at the top of our 8 o'clock hour. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Thanks so much for being with us. Hope you had a great weekend. It's Thanksgiving week. You doing the traveling? People traveling to you? You doing the cooking? Somebody else doing the cooking for you? How's it going to work this week? By the way, is there any school in Florida this week? I know in Southwest Florida, your daughter's off all week.
Oh, they're off all week.
Unbelievable.
I mean, who cares if the parents have to work?
I was going to say, does anybody with these school districts, do they have kids? Okay, do they understand? I mean, at least go to school through. I understood. You and I, you grew up in Michigan. I grew up in the Northeast. And obviously, it's not as transient as Florida and people traveling to and from. And so when I first moved to Florida nearly 25 years ago, I didn't understand wait a minute, they're getting the Wednesday before Thanksgiving off. But then it's kind of like, yeah, a lot of traveling is, that's okay. A lot of people leave town. They go, oh, all right, fine. Okay, I'm okay with the travel day. Now it's a travel week. What the heck? It's not like we have snow days. I mean, come on.
No, but we do have hurricane days, and we're making those up.
We do. We do. That's true. All right. First world problems, I guess. Time now for
The Starting Five. 5 stories you need to know. It's the Starting 5 on Miller and Moulton. Here's number 1.
Well, they didn't look great. They didn't cover, but who cares? They won, right? Dolphins 20, Raiders 13, Miami 7-3 on the season. Only one team in the AFC with a better record, right? Yeah, the Ravens a half a game ahead of them. Dolphins did have 3 turnovers yesterday, 2 fumbles and a pick, but Jalen Ramsey helped with the defense, who got all 3 turnovers back with 3 of their own. He had 2 interceptions.
Boy, they were really good interceptions too.
Yeah, this just in, he's good.
Really good.
Like, where's your number 1 receiver? I'll take him good. Yeah. Although the Raiders look different without Josh McDaniels, don't they? They look like a team that wants to play. They look into it. Fortunately, the Dolphins were going up against Aiden O'Connell. Anyway, Dolphins defense held the Raiders under 300 yards. 5th time in 6 games, Dolphins defense has done that. Quietly, that's becoming a pretty good unit. Just saying. Tampa Bay, not only did they lose, Mark, we got to pay attention to the injury report this week. Because they lost to San Francisco 27-14. Did anybody think they were going to go to San Francisco and beat the Niners? Brock Purdy was terrific. For as lousy as he was during that 3-game losing streak, that's how good he was yesterday. 84% completions, 333 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, he was outstanding. But, Mark, Jamal Dean, Carlton Davis, Levante David, Tristan Wirfs all got hurt in this game. And to various degrees. We got to pay attention to the next couple days to see just the extent of these injuries. Because, I mean, that's 2 starters in the secondary, your tackling machine linebacker, and your best offensive lineman. If they can come back in short order, this lousy division's still winnable. If they're out for significant time, they done. Put a fork in them. Start working on draft position. What are we to make of the Jacksonville Jaguars? Wow, for as lousy as they were last week, granted, they had a little help. They were playing the Niners. Whew, did they look good this week? Granted, they had a little help. They were playing the Titans. Jacksonville, 34-14, and the game wasn't that close. Trevor had 4 touchdowns, 2 passing, 2 running. Jags and the Texans with a big AFC South game coming up this weekend because Houston held off Arizona 21-16 despite C.J. Stroud having his worst day, throwing 3 picks.
I was just going to say in the Jacksonville game, they found this Ridley guy. He had been in the witness protection program for the past few weeks. Several weeks, actually.
I think they were trying to see whether or not he was still betting on games. They didn't want to, get emotionally attached to him or anything. And now that they're convinced he's not betting on games and aren't going to lose him, they worked him back into the fold. Well, they're going to need him against Houston. That's 7-3 against 6-4 in Houston this coming Sunday. Arizona drops to 2-9, and they've got the first overall pick right now in the draft. Where do we want to go? Hey, how about the Browns? How about the Browns with their backup third string? I don't know what he is, DTR. But anyway, they beat Pittsburgh 13-10. What a rock fight that game was.
Boy, that was really, really bad.
Dustin Hopkins, 34-yard field goal at the gun. Cleveland won it. Browns are 7-3. And the Lions are 8-2. The Jags are 7-3, the Browns are 7-3, and the Lions are 8-2. Huh? Yeah, it's that kind of year. 31-26. See, here's the deal. The Lions were lousy for 56 minutes. Lousy. Bears were up 26-14. The Lions were -3 in turnovers. Bears had the ball for over 40 minutes. And Detroit came back and won. How unlikely was that? It had never happened before. Ever. And the Lions now, listen, we awarded them the division over a month ago, 6 weeks ago, in fact. Well, it was made official last night when Denver rallied to beat Minnesota 21-20. Now the Vikings are 3 back in the loss column at 6-5. They had their 5-game winning streak snapped. Denver's now won 4 in a row. Russell Wilson, game-winning touchdown with a little over a minute to go. How about that? How about them apples? Listen, the Chargers are redefining underachieving.
Did you see the dropped pass that would have been a touchdown in that game? Late?
You mean when Herbert hit the guy in stride?
In stride.
It would have
To
helped
go up 4, and they were laying 3.
Jordan Love with 2 touchdown passes, including the game winner with under 3 minutes to go. Both teams are now 4-6, which is okay for the Packers, youngest team in the league, young quarterback. Not okay for the Chargers. Rams own Seattle. They swept them. Did it to them again, trailing 16-7 in the fourth quarter. They scored 10 unanswered. They beat them 17-16. Seahawks fall to 6-4, which, don't get me wrong, in the NFC, it's comfortably in the playoffs. But the Rams improved to 4-6. Listen, the Giants are the worst team in the league. They really are. And Washington said, we don't care. We want to gift you a win. We don't know if you're going to get any the rest of the year. So how about if we turn the ball over 6 times? 6, because I don't think 4 would have been enough. Not sure 5, actually, would have been enough. Because we had a chance to win still after 5 turnovers. But here's the 6th. Okay, 31-19 Giants. They're 3-8. Washington's 4-7. Prediction: Rivera would have been fired last night or today if they weren't playing on Thanksgiving. Instead, Rivera will be fired Friday. That's my prediction after they lose in Dallas. Speaking of Dallas, they beat Carolina 33-10. Why did we not bet the Cowboys? What were we thinking?
David, I could show you my sheet where I have it written down and I crossed it off.
I mean, come on, Dallas. What have we always said? Dallas,
they beat bad teams.
They beat them badly. And I had said Arizona has the worst record. I'm wrong. Carolina has the worst record.
Carolina's the worst record.
Yeah. I mean, and they've earned it too. They're lousy. Deron Bland, by the way, for the Cowboys, his 4th pick 6 of the year. Wow. Mark, hasn't he scored more points than the Steelers?
Who hasn't?
That low blow, but come on now.
But accurate.
Yeah. And a Steelers fan listening right now going, yeah, I'm not going to get mad at you for that. We deserve that. Hey, Zach Wilson quarterbacks the Jets. So they lost. Buffalo whooped them 32-6. Hey, Zach Wilson was so bad that even Robert Saleh benched him. Yeah. And we thought Robert Saleh wasn't paying attention.
We thought Robert Saleh wasn't allowed
Right.
to bench him.
Right. But he was so bad, he benched him. The Jets were held to 155 total yards of offense. This just in, that's not good. Eagles are visiting the Chiefs tonight. It's a Super Bowl rematch. It's only the 7th time in the history of the NFL that teams who played in the previous Super Bowl are meeting in the next regular season. The team that won the Super Bowl is 4-2 in the rematch, for what that's worth. You got KC, a 2.5-point favorite. Andy Reid coming off a bye, where his record is, I think, 21-4. That doesn't include playoffs. College football. Syracuse fired their head coach, Dino Babers, after 8 seasons. Utah quarterback Cam Rising announced he'll return next year. He hasn't played at all this year because the knee injury he suffered in the Rose Bowl. Mark, next year will be his 7th year. He was a freshman at Texas in 2018. Between transferring, between COVID, between missing a year due to injury, 7th year next year, Utah starting quarterback.
Art Schleister somewhere going, that's impressive.
Rick Leach is going, wow.
Yeah.
Man.
How do you do that?
Man, I don't even think I played that long. Arkansas has decided to bring in Sam Pittman back. That's a good move, even though they're 4-7 this year. And credit to Washington State. Yeah, Washington's screwing Washington State by leaving for the Big Ten. But you know what? Washington said, we still want to keep playing the Apple Cup. So they re-signed the series for 4 more years.
Good.
Should sign it for the rest of their existence. Come on. AP polls out. Florida State got dropped down to 5th in the AP poll. And Ohio State jumped ahead of Michigan. So it'll be number 2 against number 3 in the AP. We'll see what they are in the playoff committee poll tomorrow. It's still Oregon, Texas, Bama, 6, 7, 8 as to the one-loss teams where they're ranked. So keep that in mind. The Phillies re-signed Aaron Nola. What does it take to re-sign a solid number 2 starter? 7 years, $172 million. About 24.5 a year. He's 30 years old. There you go. NBA, Magic beat Indiana. Magic are 8-5, 128-116. Cavs beat the Nuggets, who fall to 9-4, 121-109. Boston's 11-2. They edge 3-10 Memphis, 102-100. And listen, I know some of you don't like LeBron. He's 38 years old. He played 40 minutes last night, scored 37 points at the game-winning free throw. They beat Houston 105-104. He's 38 years old. 40 minutes, 37 points.
He's beginning the season with MVP-like statistics.
Right. Did we mention he's 38, not 28? Miami got 28 from Nigel Pack. 12th ranked Canes beat K-State. That's who Pack used to play for, 91-83. UCF beat South Dakota State. South Florida beat Northern Iowa. FIU lost to Akron. Women's hoops, Florida State won. They're ranked 12th in the country. FGCU beat Kentucky. And South Florida edged North Florida by a point. In your neck of the woods, Mark, you've got both the Gulf Coast Showcase and the Fort Myers Tip-Off getting underway later today. In golf, also in your neck of the woods, they had the LPGA version of the Tour Championship. Amy Yang won the CME Group and $2 million. Thank you very much. Ludwig Aberg, a Speed, won the RSM Classic in St. Simons, Georgia on the PGA Tour by 4. And it should be noted, FSW, which is Florida Southwestern in Southwest Florida, won their 2nd straight National JUCO Volleyball Championship over the weekend, beating Miami-Dade 3-1. And also in your neck of the woods, Mark, the FGCU volleyball team won their 3rd straight conference title. They're going back to the NCAAs. And I didn't write down the hockey scores. Huh. There were a few. I mean, neither the Lightning or the Panthers played, but there were 5 games in the NHL last night. I probably should have written that down.
Penguins shut out Vegas 3-0. How about that for you? And the
Did,
Sabres beat the Blackhawks 3-2. Maple Leafs beat the Wild in Sweden 4-3.
Boy, they're still playing those games over in Sweden, aren't they?
That's it.
How's that working for them, by the way?
Probably really well. They're all sold out. Great crowds.
Okay. I'm just asking. Just, ask your son. He's the big hockey guy.
He was watching.
Okay. All right.
Afternoon hockey.
7 minutes before the hour. That was
the Starting Five every weekday morning at this time on Miller and Moulton.
So there you go. A lot of football, a little bit of the rest. That's kind of how it works this time of year.
And most times of the year, for that matter, even when football games aren't being played.
Did have somebody ask me the other day, what do you guys talk about not during football season? Without hesitation, I said, football. Gary Danielson to talk football next.
Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here.
Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best. And the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few jewelry stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. So I set my picks into the guy I do my football pool with.
Okay.
I send him in every Friday, literally right after we do the segment of the NFL picks, that break. I email him the picks. And this week I just said, F the effing Bengals taking me out of the Suicide League. LOL. And he sends back, he goes, it's amazing the number of people that walk up to me and tell me about you talking about the football pool on your show. I'm like, never mentioned your name once. I don't.
Right.
And he goes, yep, but they all know.
The weather guy's got a Chiefs tie on.
Yeah.
The anchors, okay. The news anchors.
Why are you not watching Len Jennings?
Well, first of all, I don't know what station Len's on.
Where's Soren Petro at?
Soren Petro he's radio.
Okay.
Do you want me to search around now for Len Jennings?
Well, I don't know is Len is he a morning guy?
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think so because I thought he was on the sidelines last year when we did a game here. I thought he was like doing a live report from the sidelines.
Len Jennings, KMBC. Let's see here.
What channel?
KMBC. 9. I mean, doesn't he have to work all day? Monday Night Football, your main sports guy's got to be working all day today.
Oh, but he's not working in the morning.
Oh, hell yeah. If I was the damn news director, he would be.
Yeah. And another thing. How many of these damn games you get a year? Oh, come on.
Get the greatest Lions quarterback pre-Matt Stafford on the show. You know Danielson was a Lions quarterback.
So it's KMBC, right?
NBC.
All right. I just switched over to them. That's the ABC affiliate. See whether or not our guy's on. KMBC News brought to you by Papa Murphy's Pizza, Mark.
Oh.
Hey, you're not going to believe this. They're leading with the Chiefs. Huh. In fact, that's it. That's all they promoted. Then they went right to the weather. Oh, they're in their Chiefs ties and blouses and colors. It's all Chiefs orange, red.
What in the hell should they be wearing?
But listen, the other station's actually wearing stuff that says Chiefs on it. I mean, this station right now, it's just Chiefs colors.
I think your weather, if it's a weather person, it's a female weather person, she can wear a jersey.
It's a guy, he's wearing a Chiefs color tie.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Hour 2 of Miller and Moulton, joined once again on this day and time by Gary Danielson, he of the SEC on CBS, Big Ten on CBS beginning next year. Hey, we're talking about local news with me being in Kansas City and everybody's dressed up wearing their Chiefs colors and their Chiefs gear for the game tonight. You did local news, didn't you, for a while?
I did a version of it, yes, I would say. Doing it in the studio was never my stuff, but being out in the, with the team, I actually followed the Pistons around when they were winning their championships and had the honor of trying to interview Bill Laimbeer. That was a lot of fun. Because Bill, if you didn't ask him a good question, he would let you know. So yes, I did local news.
Did you ever have a moment with Laimbeer in which you asked a question that he didn't like?
Yes, but as Bill was correct to say, it was one of those Bill, what a game. The team played well. What you thinking? And he goes, I don't know if I even put the question mark. He goes, did you ask a question, G? And I go, oh, right. Something like that. So, yes, I had one of those, So,
well,
it was fun. Those guys were great, and I followed the Tigers. I did opening day in Boston with the Tigers. So, yeah, that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. I didn't dress up, though. I heard you earlier. You're right.
I don't know. I never thought of wearing the official team jersey or what have you when I was doing local sports for 20 years. I don't know. Maybe I would have made it bigger. I don't know.
Well, it's been bigger. That's for sure.
Gary, just how good's this Georgia team and how much better have they gotten since the beginning of the season?
Yeah, Mark, there's two parts of this game that really, I thought, told it all. I don't know if you saw the tape going around of Kirby standing in the tunnel before the game. He's got a couple players with him, and they're standing there, and the crowd is going crazy. And Kirby is just staring out, turning around, and going, yeah, this has nothing to do with the football game. Just like, we're here, we're ready to play. You can cheer all you want. Once the game starts, we'll find out who the best team is. I thought that just kind of epitomizes everything I think about the challenge of going out on the playing on the road. I mean, it's part of the game. You have to accept the challenge. Just like playing in the weather, playing whatever happens early in the game. So what happens early in the game? Couldn't have a better start for Tennessee. First play, crowd goes crazy. Everything Josh Heupel would have begged for. Get the crowd engaged, get a lead on the road, and Georgia goes on and just takes control of the game. So after the game, Jenny goes, well, what's this all about? What do you have to do to keep this thing going? You've won 3 straight years. And he goes, recruit good players. And I thought the beginning of the game and the end of the game, those two parts of Kirby and the way he's brought this program around, I thought that told that. But he did add an important part. Good players who are good people. And then I've been part of it and watched the practices around Georgia who accept tough, competitive coaching. And right now, Kirby's got it going at Georgia, and there's no doubt that they're now the team that everybody wants to be.
I know it was difficult because you're working, but all year we had wondered on the field. Everything going on off the field with Michigan's one thing, but on the field we wondered, hey, how much are they going to be tested at, particularly with a passing attack before they meet Ohio State? Maryland's got a quarterback and a little bit of a passing attack, and Michigan, they bent a decent amount in that game.
So here's my theory about that. If you have a decent level quarterback, and obviously Tua's brother is at that level, it's my Brian Brennan theory, the ex-Brother Rice star who played for the Boston College and the Cleveland Browns. You can get open. Now, there's a lot of other parts that have to fit together. You need that extra half second in the pocket to be able to find them. You need a creative game plan to understand how to pick the defense. But one-on-one, you can get people open in the secondary against any team. That includes Alabama. That includes Georgia. That includes, obviously, Ohio State. The top of the food chain of all football. You can throw the ball, but if you've got to have the right guy throwing it. And you're right. Kyle McCord is starting to take those steps. Obviously, Ohio State has receivers. I've said since I watched them in the first game of the year, the 2 games we had, there's no doubt in my mind Ohio State and Michigan are the 2 most talented teams in the Big Ten, and they're going to face off. And I think talent-wise, there's no mystery here. Georgia and Alabama, top to bottom, are the two most talented teams in the SEC. So all these games have been played, but you're right. Michigan is extremely talented, but they will be tested by Kyle McCord and Ohio State because they have a really good defense. Yeah, that'll be a really good battle.
Gary, just how much of Harbaugh not being on the sidelines is going to affect Michigan Saturday against Ohio State?
I hate it. I really do. This is messed up. Mistakes obviously have been made. I continue to say I hope Jimmy didn't know about it. I can't imagine any competitor wanting to bend the rules, break the rules, whatever happened, want to win by taking shortcuts. I can't believe a player of Jimmy's stature or the way he's coached would knowingly break the rules. But, yeah, it kind of stinks for this game. But I think once the game starts, I got to say, I don't want to say it has no factor. I mean, I got to believe looking over and seeing, that jaw sticking out and Jim standing on the sideline is an important factor for Michigan. So how much, I don't know. But I for TV, if I was doing the game, I'd want to see him on the sideline. Not this year, though. Not this year. Too many things have gone on. He has to pay that price. And as we've talked about this in the past, I kind of wish Jim would have said, listen, something happened here. I'm in charge. If anybody, anything, if there's any punishment, don't punish my team, punish me. And that's ultimately what happened. And I believe Tony Petitti and the Big Ten Commissioner's Office gave the perfect, if you think about it, they gave the exact same penalty that Michigan imposed themselves. And how can you argue that something had to be done?
And we're talking with Gary Danielson, SEC on CBS, his 16th Iron Bowl. He will broadcast this Saturday before the SEC championship the following Saturday. Is it fair to penalize, if you will, Florida State going forward because their terrific starting quarterback is hurt and out for the year?
Yeah, nothing's been fair about this playoff setup in college football from the get-go. It started in my very first year in the SEC when, you had to make a decision whether, a team like Michigan, who obviously had a good football team and battled so strongly against Ohio State, deserved to be in the playoffs, or Florida, who fought their way from, a team that nobody expected to be in the hunt, a defensive, ugly team, should go in before them. But, college football is you have to have opinions and you make crazy choices and sometimes somebody gets left out. But this goes all the way back. Remember, Mark, I don't know if you go forward as far, I think it was maybe 74, 75 when Michigan lost their quarterback and the Big Ten athletic directors decided to send, I guess, Ohio State to the Rose Bowl because, God, who was it? Was it Dennis Franklin was hurt? And they decided to make a decision that their quarterback was not healthy. So they wanted to send their best representative. So there's nothing been fair about this, these playoffs. I will say this. You can only have to look back to Ohio State and Cardell Jones, their number 3 quarterback for Ohio State. Nobody thought they would be able to beat Alabama. And they went all around in 2014 and won a championship. So big picture here, I think there's more factors than just losing their quarterback. I think you have to look at strength of conferences, who they played, who they beat. There's a lot going for Florida State. If they remain undefeated, boy, I don't see how you could leave them out of the top 4. But, we could have multiple undefeated teams. We could have a 1-loss Alabama, a 1-loss Texas. It's going to get very complicated. And, Mark, I don't know if you remember, I had never been for 4. I would have rather had 2 where multiple conferences get left out than 4 where one conference gets left out. I said at the time that this is going to be totally embarrassing for a business model for a conference to be solely left out. And I think the four-team playoff format was the early first step of the demise of the Pac-12. I thought 6 was the logical number for years, and I think we'd have a whole different landscape of what college football looks like now if they didn't go to 4.
He's Gary Danielson. He'll be at the Plains of Auburn for the Iron Bowl for the final time on Saturday. Listen, nothing crazy happens when the Iron Bowl's played at Auburn, okay? It'll be a very routine affair.
Yeah, well, I mean, if New Mexico can win at Auburn, the Auburn team better turn it up a big notch. I'm looking forward to it. You're right. They better turn it up. I'm sure they will.
Gary Danielson, kind enough to join us once again here on Miller and Moulton.
It is fascinating, the number of teams that are in the hunt for the college football playoff. And now you throw in the way they're going to treat Alabama, who could get in ahead of Texas. This whole thing now, the injury at Florida State has added even more grease, David, on the fire.
The most uneventful November we've had in a long time in college football. Everybody's kept winning. Obviously, Michigan, Ohio State, well, one team will be quote unquote eliminated, but can Florida State finish? Can Texas finish? Can Alabama post the upset? But we've had, the big boys have kept winning in November. That doesn't usually happen. Miller and Moulton, thanks for listening. Florida Sports Network.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
To Steve in Florida, there's no doubt I was totally wrong about Northwestern. This first-time head coach, the DC from North Dakota State, has done an amazing job. He's won over the team while the team still thinks that Fitz got a raw deal. And also, he had to win over Fitz's staff. I mean, he's done an amazing job. He really should. He should be the Big Ten Coach of the Year. I mean, they're bowl eligible, right? Didn't they beat Purdue? Aren't they 6-5? Yeah. A tremendous job. Remember, they got an embarrassing week one loss. They scored in like the last minute to avoid getting shut out at Rutgers. They were horrible that day. He's done a tremendous job. And thank goodness I was wrong, because I didn't want to see Northwestern be Northwestern of 40 years ago again.
Begging the question, how bad's Purdue?
Pretty bad.
Worse than Indiana?
Yes.
Whew. Well, we're going to find out, right?
We'll find out.
Yeah.
I had to laugh. They had they're doing the college football show, and they kept showing the trophies. And I think it was Booger asking Booger which one it was, and he just kept guessing because he kept guessing the little something, whatever one it was. The little gold bucket. The little something bell. I'm like, he had little brown jug in his head, and it's all he could do forever trophy.
I thought he was joking. So he was actually trying to be.
He was trying to they put the Michigan State Indiana game up, and they put the old brass spittoon up there, and he's like, "What is it?" He goes, "The little gold bucket."
I mean, that's about.
Then they put whoever's plays for the bell, the Liberty. There's like a bell that two teams play for. He's like, "The little red bell," and they said whatever it was, the bell or the victory bell, and he's like. Well, I got bell right. It's a bell. How could you not get that part of it right? It was making me laugh.
South Florida, because they host Charlotte.
Who's UCF play? Because it should be USF. Just saying. Well, they play Houston. They're 13.5-point favorites against Houston.
Who's the bigger favorite? South Florida or UCF?
Looking.
But it's close.
No, South Florida is only a 5.5-point favorite.
What? I'm taking that right now.
Has the spread on tonight's game moved at all, or is it still 2.5?
Last I saw.
Yep.
Andy Reid 4-0 against the Eagles.
That is pretty cool. All right, here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. Thanks so much for waking up with us. No, it's going to be a busy, crazy week for many of you. Thanksgiving week. Don't know if you're the one doing the traveling, people coming to you, you doing the cooking, you going on the road.
There are a lot of people that I'm finding out have ditched the whole turkey thing for Thanksgiving.
Why?
We have an old friend, used to work in this building, now works up in Tampa. And he has always done a tenderloin. Doesn't like turkey. So why do we do turkey once a year? It's not any good. Turkey sucks. Is his opinion.
Wow.
Ran into another couple. I was at the daughter's soccer game on Saturday talking with some of the parents, and we were talking about that, that question. Well, you having people over? Oh, you having people over? Who's coming to your house? And they pulled the we're doing prime rib. So if we did turkey, it would just be for tradition. Nobody likes turkey.
Now, our buddy there, I mean, is it just like he and one or two other people? I could see if it's just a very intimate gathering, why do I need to cook the bird? But I mean, I think if you're having, I don't know, what's the number? Over under 6.5? I mean, if you're over 6.5, don't you have to do the bird?
Well, that's the whole point, that you don't have to do the bird. If you don't like the bird, you don't do the bird.
It's just a formality. It's 2023. People do what they want now.
It's tradition.
Well, that's
come on.
Tradition, formality, same thing.
Okay, Lions season ticket holder, fine. Okay, then tell you what, Lions don't have to play on Thanksgiving. No. We don't have to do that anymore. We've did it for a long time.
2023.
Yeah, we're changing. No. We're changing it up. No more Lions. No more Cowboys on Thanksgiving.
But if you don't like,
no, seriously, do you know what
people
that
don't
would
like the
gut
Lions
you?
on Thanksgiving? All right,
Yeah,
that's what you have to understand, Trent. You as a diehard Michigander, Michigan State, Detroit Lions fan, I've been out of that state for a long time. Let me just let you in on a little secret. The rest of the country doesn't like watching the Lions on Thanksgiving.
No,
I know.
No, you don't know.
No, I got to hear it every year. I take a lot of heat from my friends and family and the internet and all that.
Okay, but what if we took it away from you, though? What if we took it away from you?
Here's the thing.
No. It's a simple answer the question.
If you took it away from me, I would not be happy.
Exactly. It would gut you. Okay? It would. It'd be like, what do you mean? It's what we do. It's Thanksgiving. The Lions at 12:30.
So not having the bird on Thanksgiving guts you.
It's the equivalent of taking the Lions away from the day. It is. Okay? Honestly, come on now. One damn day we do the bird.
I'm waiting for David to do the tradition.
Oh, I did it on the inside. Okay, I did.
Fosse.
Trent was not answering the question, I went tradition.
Touche.
Absolutely. So that's all. I mean, although I have to admit, it was probably the atmosphere. We were at Troy Aikman's house, but he catered Italian when Thanksgiving.
Right, you did Thanksgiving. There was not a bird to be found there.
No, there wasn't. And it was, about a dozen of us from the Fox crew over to his house, and he catered Italian. And I thought, never done this on Thanksgiving. Yeah, interesting.
Did you find out, does he not like turkey?
No, he likes turkey. He just, I think, not exactly knowing when we're going to get there. And also, I think he didn't want to burden his then wife, with doing it. So he just said,
he was going to cater it no matter what you were doing.
Well, no, I think, anyway, I asked him, I said, what made you do this? And he just said, it would be easier. And besides, he felt like contributing to the local economy. So he had it catered. All right. And I will say, first, meatballs on Thanksgiving, that's a tradition I could get into. I will say.
Never a bad time for a meatball, David.
There really isn't.
I mean, I do think Troy is on to something. Although I don't like the meatballs, I will be the first when they put the jelly, the sweet meatball thing that goes in the crock pot that people have. You know what I speak of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no.
Like in the jelly and that's awful.
Yeah, it is.
Meatballs are meant to be served with marinara sauce.
Thank you. Or just by themselves.
Or if you want to put a meatball in a gravy, I can live with that.
Huh.
But that whole sweet meatball thing, that's got to go. All right, I feel better now.
Okay. So maybe, you know what? How about that as a poll question? Are you doing turkey on Thanksgiving? And we'll find out just how many are no longer doing the bird.
Right, wrong, or indifferent, it is becoming less of a thing. That's the way it's trending.
Well, Trent, our whole country is trending to do less of a thing. I mean, whatever the thing was, we're pulling away from it.
That's why at the beginning of this whole spiel, I said it's 2023. People just do what they want now.
No kidding. No kidding. No kidding. Like I'm having 14 people over on Thanksgiving, none of whom were invited. No kidding. Yep.
I can't wait for the number to get higher because I am envisioning between now and Thursday, your daughter, who has a number of friends in and around the Jacksonville area where you live. She went to college there. That's been her place of residence for about 10 years now. So she's well entrenched. You know what's going to happen, David. One of her friends' travel plans are going to go awry. Something's going to happen, and she's going to say, hey, Susie and John don't have any place to go. I just told them, why don't you come to our place for Thanksgiving? And 14 becomes 16.
There is no parking. There are 4 guest parking spots for the entire development. 4. There are 24 condos in the development. There are 4 guest parking spots. I have no idea where everyone's even going to park. And if anybody,
I just envision a letter from the HOA coming out of this one. This soiree is going to turn into a huge, you're going to have to appear at a meeting.
So let me get this straight. I had to do Thanksgiving for 14 uninvited people, and I'm going to get in trouble with my HOA?
Not a doubt
I
in
could
my
get
mind.
arrested over this. This could end up in jail.
Time now for our play of the day. Trent, what do you have for us?
We go to Cleveland, Ohio for an AFC North slugger between the Browns and Steelers. 2 great defenses. They both delivered. It was only 10-10 with 5 seconds remaining when the Browns set up for the winner.
5 seconds to go. Here we go. Hewlett ready to put the ball back. Waiting. Snaps it back. Ball down. Hopkins into it. Flag down. Kick is up. And the kick is good. With 2 seconds left. There's a flag down. It looks like the Steelers were offside. 2 seconds left. And Dustin Hopkins puts the Browns ahead 13-10.
Dustin Hopkins, the 34-yarder. Jim Donovan's on the call for the Cleveland Browns radio network. That was his first game back since going on medical leave for leukemia treatment after week 1 of this season. So welcome back, Jim. And what a warm welcome it was. Browns are now 7-3, currently the 5 seed in the AFC if the playoffs were to start today. And that is your play of the day from the AFC North.
And just a half a game back of the Ravens. And they're with their second, third, fourth string, whatever DTR is, however far down the depth chart he is. But they're going DTR the rest of the way.
Beat the Steelers. He's already a Cleveland legend, David.
All you have to do is beat the Steelers once. Maybe down the road it'll be like, we beat the Steelers. But for the last 40 years, not so much. So
I've got some friends who are Browns fans. They are fired up. Fired up. It's not very often that you have a defense so great that it literally doesn't matter who you have at quarterback. Not to mention you're paying your guy as much as they're paying Deshaun Watson. They don't even need him.
Okay. All right. Enough. They don't even need him.
It was really good right until the end. Right until the very end. No, they need him, and they need him a lot because they have no chance to win a Super Bowl without him. Miller and Moulton, Chris Landry, 30 minutes away, right here on the Florida Sports Network.
The law firm of Michael F.
Hornung
specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm.
Don't have a clubhouse.
For a free consultation.
Don't have a clubhouse.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge
don't have
is
a clubhouse
to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps Have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
No. I don't think I could show up at Troy's on Thanksgiving. No, that was the every other year when we did a game in Dallas. So that was 2018 and 2020. And I will say, Troy's house, besides being beautiful, is neat in that the front and back of it can be open aired. And so in 2020, obviously we were dealing with the pandemic, and so it was nice to be able to do something as a group and yet feel as if, we could also just have a little room, plenty of air. So it was pretty enjoyable.
Talk about 2023. Could you imagine if there was some pandemic again and they tried to do another lockdown? It wouldn't even.
Oh, please,
no one
please
would follow the
don't.
rules. That would be
just
a nightmare.
Jimmy, what distraction? Seriously, what distraction? Last year it might have been a distraction, but what's the distraction this year?
You went 14 for 14 with a
broken shoulder.
Come on. He had been a distraction all year.
Now, he'd been hurt a couple times. I mean, he only played, 6 games? But
here's the thing. He went 14 for 14, but they probably still lose that game unless the defense forces that Lamar turnover at the end. So, I don't know. It's a weird situation they got going on.
Come on. It's a very simple question. Okay? A very simple question. Are they better with Watson or DTR? Yes or who? Who
Watson.
Are they better with?
Watson.
Of course.
For sure.
Okay. Jimmy Bird, we didn't say he was the same quarterback. We're saying who are they better off with?
Yeah,
of course they're better off with Deshaun.
For sure. I think it's more just the identity of how good the defense is when they're missing Chubb, they're now missing Watson, and it looks like the defense is going to keep them in every single game.
Yeah, it'll keep them in every game.
Yeah, that's because
but they're going to play good teams in the playoffs.
Yeah, keeping it in context, they just played Kenny Pickett,
and he sucks
in Cleveland too. I mean, if that game was in Pittsburgh, maybe you don't win it.
Well, we'll see going forward if Tomlin can keep it together, because that's his worst performance of the year. And granted, the Browns helped, but I mean, he barely threw for 100 yards, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they just devoured him.
Yeah, he had 106 yards, 15 of 28.
Once again, Jimmy Bird, you're like the political argument. You just want to keep making it to back up your point. All we're saying, and that's all we're saying, is that they're better off with Watson than DTR. And you won't even acknowledge that. Everything you're saying about Watson can be true. He certainly overpaid. Last year, he was a distraction, not this year. Okay, overrated? Sure. But is he better than what the guy who played yesterday? Of course he is. Well, actually, it was a great half. But those are two terrific wins. They just beat the Ravens and the Steelers back to back.
Aren't the Steelers in the playoff picture too now? Still?
Still.
The 7?
Oh, yeah. We going to play that game? We going to play that game?
And they'd be playing Baltimore. Matter of fact, let's play that game.
Oh, my goodness. This day keeps getting better and better.
All right, here we go.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
"22 minutes before the hour. Chris Landry will join us at the top of the hour from Landry Football. We're Miller and Moulton. Thanks for being with us. Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Hey, did you notice home teams in the NFL this week? Wow. We haven't had a weekend like this in, I don't know, since before the pandemic. Home teams are 11-2 this week so far. 11-2. The only two road teams to win, the Giants and the Cowboys. And I don't know if the Giants won or if Washington was on the take. 6 turnovers. What the? Honestly. Giants going to the fourth quarter had no rushing yards. They were winning the game. They had no rushing yards entering the fourth quarter. Damnedest thing I'd ever seen. Because, of course, they had the illustrious Tommy DeVito as their quarterback.
Or Vito the Tommy, whichever
right,
one
or
you
Vito
want.
the Tommy. Right. I mean, they didn't have Dan Marino as their quarterback. They had Tommy DeVito as their quarterback with no rushing yards on the road, and they were winning. Unbelievable.
For the record, Miller and Moulton both had 2 and 3 weeks.
And all the games that we got right that we didn't put on our official list. Unbelievable.
Did you get how many did you have written down that you were right on?
All
I only
three.
had 1.
All three. All three. Went 3-0 in the games I crossed out.
How many games do you think you'll be picking this week?
37.
Do you need 2 segments? Do you need a Wednesday segment for the Thursday, Friday games, and then a Friday segment for the weekend games?
I'm just going to start late in the show on Wednesday, and eventually you'll get to me at some point on Friday. You'll turn my mic on, and then I'll do the segment. We are doing a show Friday, by the way. We are doing a Black Friday show for those that are interested. If, don't know if you'll be driving around or what have you, but if you need to just, some time away from the family, hit the app and, give us a listen. We'll be doing a show on Friday.
So we're doing a couple of shows in and around Christmas as well on the 21st and 26th that I will be out of town. I'm going to be pulling a Moulton for the first time. When you're at your mother's and you're in the dining room basically doing the show.
Right.
I will be at my mother-in-law's. We figured out the dining room is the place where I will be doing the Christmas shows.
Oh, okay.
Worked that out last night. So
okay,
my first traveling shows in quite a while. So you'll be home for Christmas and I'll be in Pittsburgh. This will be an unusual.
Oh, I'm in.
Oh, you're out west, aren't you?
We have Monday Night Football Christmas night. It's a hell of a game, actually, Baltimore, San Francisco. But yeah, so I wasn't going to do the 26th.
Trent and I are doing that.
Right. I was going to take a red eye so I can get back at a decent hour, not midnight Tuesday night. So yeah. But we will be doing a show. It's the day after Thanksgiving, day after Christmas, day after New Year's. That's how we roll here on Miller and Moulton, okay? We work.
So, David, we were talking during the break. Trent just asked the question, Pittsburgh still in the playoffs?
Of course they are. They're 6-4. Yeah, every team in the league who's 6-4 is in the playoffs. All right. Let's play the game. By the way, if the Chiefs lose today, the Ravens become the 1 seed for the moment because the Chiefs would fall to 7-3 and Baltimore would be 8-3. So Baltimore would move up to the 1 seed. but we're going by winning percentage at this moment in time. KC's the 1, Baltimore's the 2. Jacksonville right now has the tiebreaker over the Dolphins at 7-3. They both have the same conference record at 5-2, so I'm curious what the tiebreaker is.
Must be record of opponents or something along those lines when you get to that.
Yep. The wild cards, Cleveland, Houston, Pittsburgh in that order. Houston the 6, Pittsburgh the 7 at 6-4. And Buffalo at 6-5, just on the outside looking in. And then we got all those 5-5 teams, Indy, Denver, Cincinnati. Are the Broncos going to be this year's Lions? Remember, 1-6 to 9-8. Yeah, they missed out on the playoffs, but that doesn't mean they didn't win 8 of their last 10. 2 years ago, the Eagles went from 2-5 to 9-8. They won 7 of the last 10 to sneak in as the 7 seed. Is Denver going to be that team this year?
But right now, the Dolphins playing Cleveland in the 4-5 game.
Not an ideal draw. Like, you want to see that defense. Never.
Well, look at who the higher seeded teams are and who they would have to play as this sets up right now. Miami would have to play Cleveland. Not a lot of fun with that defense. Jacksonville would play Houston again. And Baltimore would play Pittsburgh.
Oh, third meeting between them.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. NFC, win or lose tonight, the Eagles remain the 1. They're 8-1. Detroit's 8-2. The reason Philly, even if they lose tonight, to fall to 8-2 would still be the 1. Their conference record's a perfect 6-0, while Detroit is 5-1. So Philly, win or lose tonight, remains the 1 in the NFC. San Francisco is the 3. And New Orleans is the 4, because they've got a 1-game lead in the South at 5-5. So your wild cards, Dallas is the 5, Seattle is the 6 at 6-4, and the Vikings, Mark, despite the loss, still the 7 seed at 6-5. Here's the crazy thing. They have a 1.5 lead. There's no one else besides the Saints even 5-5. So Minnesota's 6-5, but the closest team to them technically is Green Bay at 4-6 when you factor in all the tiebreakers. So you got 4 teams at 4-6, a 1.5 behind Minnesota, and that's the closest competition for Minnesota. I mean, you got to think if you're the Vikings, 9 gets you in. I mean, hell, it might be 8.
But 8. I literally was pulling up their schedule. And you look at the Vikings right now, and they've got the 2 games against the Lions, but they play the Bears this week.
Yep, week from tonight.
At the Raiders, at the Bengals, no Joe Burrow. And then they go Lions, Packers, at the Lions. If we're ready to give the division to the Lions, I'm damn near ready to give a wild card to the Vikings.
Well, I'm not ready to give them the wild card just yet. I mean, they have a 1.5 lead. The Lions have a 3-game lead in the North. The North's over.
I understand.
We first off, we gave it to them over a month ago. We can't take it back. I mean, that's like an award. We gave them. They have it up on a mantle somewhere. We can't take it back.
Commanders, can they get to 9?
No.
We know the Giants can. Can the Packers get to 9? They're 4-6.
Well, they do have a game remaining with the Vikings, so that's key. Remember, they're only a game back in the loss column.
Right, I know.
Could they get to 9? Sure,
5
they
wins.
could. They could. They're the youngest team in the league. Maybe they gel in the second half. I guess.
I'm telling you. And then the Falcons and Bucks, I don't see them getting to 9.
Well, and also
they win the division.
Exactly. So the worst case scenario for the Vikings would be that both the Saints and someone else in the South get to 9. And the one team that Minnesota doesn't want to see get to 9 is Tampa Bay, because Tampa Bay beat them head-to-head to start the year.
The Rams at 4-6.
I was going to say, do you think there's any chance the Rams, because look at their schedule. They get to play Washington. They get to play the Giants. They get to play the Saints.
They play the Cardinals again.
Yeah.
They play San Francisco the last week of the season. What's that going to mean for the Niners?
And I know they just lost Kupp, but it's still Matthew Stafford is trending up again.
But they've got to get 5 wins. That's not a lot of loss on there. They play the Browns, they play the Ravens, they play the Niners. I mean, that right there are 3 games they're not going to be favored in.
But if you win one of them and you win the others you're supposed to, I don't know. I could see the Rams playing spoiler for a team like the Vikings that thinks all they need is 8 wins. We'll see.
Listen, are we sure any of these 4-6 teams are even going to get to 8? Forget 9.
Right?
Are we sure they're even going to get to 8? In fact, that might be my $20. You tell me the 4-6 team that you're really confident about that will get to 8. Forget 9. That you're confident will get to 8. Because that still means having a winning record the rest of the way. They're 4-6. And they need to go 4-3. Big difference between 400 football and 570 football. Just saying. But so there you have it. That's how the old season looks if the playoffs started today. So the Chiefs have more to lose right now. They would actually drop from the 1 to the 2 seed with a loss tonight. KC a 2.5-point favorite. Monday Night Football, a Super Bowl rematch. It's the second time in the history of Monday Night Football that they've had this game. Only the 7th time that this has ever happened. Aren't you surprised the number's that low?
I guess. I mean, when I think about it, I'm a little surprised.
With the way they do the schedules and, try to balance them out.
But you only have a 25% chance of playing that division.
I understand, but we've had, think about it, with 50, almost 60 Super Bowls. I mean, this is only the 7th time it's happened. I don't know. I thought the number would be higher. I thought it'd be like 12. That's all. So, I mean, it's happened less than 10% of the time. Well, no, a little more than 10%, 7 out of 50, 7. So, it's like 1 out of 8. It's happened 12% of the time. I don't know. I thought it'd be just a touch higher. The team that won the Super Bowl 4 out of 6 times won the rematch for whatever that's worth.
And Andy Reid's 412-2 coming off of a bye.
Right. He's also 4-0 against the Eagles since they fired him. Then again, he's had a bunch of good teams. I mean, the Chiefs have been pretty good most of that time. Last 6 years especially, been really good. Found a quarterback. It's funny how that works. And with all the quarterbacks going down, think about it. Mahomes has stayed, for as much as he's on the move, he's been banged up, knee and ankle, this, that, and the other thing. But Mahomes hasn't missed many starts in the last 6 years. I mean, Chiefs have dodged that proverbial bullet that a lot of teams in this league have had trouble dodging. San Francisco, Baltimore. I mean, we can go down the list. I mean,
just look at Baltimore with Kansas City and how different perhaps the Chiefs' fate would be if Baltimore had been healthy with Lamar Jackson entering the playoffs a couple of times.
Right. So, KC a 2.5-point favorite tonight. Eagles arrived at town yesterday afternoon. I know that for a fact. We're staying at the same hotel. They got to the hotel a little before 4 local time yesterday.
Did you see Taylor Swift in the lobby?
Well, she's not coming tonight. She had to reschedule one of her concerts. It was supposed to be a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 straight concerts in Rio. And the Saturday concert had to be rescheduled. I believe it's rescheduled for tonight. So she's not
giving the Eagles an advantage. Is this the end?
She's an Eagles fan, isn't she?
She was.
Formerly.
Well, I think she's still an Eagles fan. I mean, you just granted you're falling in love with a Kansas City Chief, but aren't you still an Eagles fan?
Falling in love? Are we sure?
Well, it's Hollywood love. It's it's celebrity love. Okay. I don't know. I mean, apparently the parents are still meeting. Okay, this weekend. I think the Kelseys and the Swifts are going to be in the same suite.
What are they having for Thanksgiving? It's our poll question. Are you done with turkey for Thanksgiving? Or are you a traditionalist? Do you still want the Lions to play on Thanksgiving? Basically, is what we're at.
That could have been the poll question. We really could have hurt Trent.
I can't take the results of that. I can't handle that. Because we know what the answer would be.
Right. Lions or turkey on Thanksgiving. Let me tell you, Lions would be in trouble.
That's one way to bring turkey back. Threaten to take the Lions off of the Thanksgiving. If that's your choice, I've got to eat turkey or there's a Lions game.
Even when they're 8-2, that's just a fight they're not going to win.
Miller and Moulton. Text line open at 21,000. Chris Landry coming up to talk everything that happened Saturday and Sunday as he breaks down the film like nobody else in the business. We'll talk to Chris about what happened over the weekend as well, coming up here in just a few minutes' time.
I voted turkey, okay, with an exclamation point. Just, this could hurt me. Turkey better fare well here. Turkey better hit 80%.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best. And the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few joy stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. Morning, Chris.
Good morning.
Yes, Spitz. The window's always open in the press box because otherwise you'd get echo. The sound would come back off the glass. So even at Lambeau Field, and that's why, I mean, that's a good 4 stories up. And so, yeah, they
How
open
high
up
up
that
are you
booth.
in Detroit? Because it looks like there's like 4 levels of suites on the one side. Are you all the way up?
No. There's no NFL stadium where we're all the way up. Even Lambeau, we're not all the way up, but it's high. Baltimore's the lowest. We're at like right at the end of the first section. I mean, the fans can literally reach into the booth in Baltimore. Chris, what are you doing for Thanksgiving?
Oh, watching football. Eating a little bit too much, probably. Put a couple of casseroles on and a turkey, and into our busy weekend of games. It's kind of like, as you know, it's Thursday and Friday are kind of like a mini weekend with more games than normal.
Mm-hmm. True. Well, the Black Friday game's going to become a thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, NFL and then, college is always loaded with games on Friday. And then you turn around, you got another college football Saturday. And it's kind of the last full one. Pardon me.
When Alabama and Auburn in 2009 and 2010 moved their game to Black Friday, the numbers were significantly better on CBS than normal. The fan bases said, if you do it again, we'll kill you. But the ratings were 20 to 30% higher than normal.
I guess the prejudice is a football guy, but I can't think of a better, Black Friday football. It's just, I don't know, it's just the neatest thing around. I mean, I can go back, for years and years, it's been different games. I mean, I can remember a couple of great, several Penn State Pitt games that were really good back in the Marino days and Jackie Sherritt. I mean, I can remember that. I can remember, parents going to shopping and all that, and I'd just stay at home with turkey sandwiches and watch those games and a little bit of snow and just watch it.
Nebraska, Colorado played the
Nebraska and Colorado did. Of course, probably one of the greatest games ever was on Thanksgiving Day was Nebraska, Oklahoma, the 71 game. 35-31. So yeah, I'm a big believer, and I think college football should have put more games on Thanksgiving. I mean, you think about like the Egg Bowl. That is a game that got lost on a Saturday.
Here we go.
After Thanksgiving, but it's now.
Here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
And it's the third and final hour of Miller and Moulton along the network on this Monday of Thanksgiving week. And Chris Landry, diehard football guy. It's LandryFootball, LandryFootball.com. Follow him on Twix, Twitter/X at Landry Football. Good morning. How are you? Home team's 11-2 in the NFL this week. We haven't had a week like that in a long time.
I know it. It's an interesting week because obviously I always look at Thanksgiving in the NFL as kind of the point of, okay, you really assess where things are, and it's just for some you got no margin for error, and for others, can you hold on? Can you stay healthy? But yeah, the home team's getting it done. Interesting weekend.
Well, the Dolphins got it done, and they didn't look that good in doing so. To me, Chris, we get to this time of the year, just like you said, and I thought the Dolphins would win and cover, and it was a big number. Well, that didn't happen. Oh, well, I lose again. But what the Dolphins did was win on Sunday, and all that matters is not by how many, it's just winning. And when you can win and have a C+ performance, that to me is the sign of a good team, and their defense is really starting to take shape. Chris, they won that game with their defense yesterday.
Yeah, they did, and it's a good sign. Now let's just see kind of where they build from that. I mean, to me, I think getting into the playoffs, and we've talked about this since September when the Dolphins were the rage of the league. Anybody going to stop them? Okay, running the football, playing defense, that component is pivotal come playoff stretch time. I always believe it is. It doesn't mean that you have to win just with that, but if you don't have balance, that's where you get exposed, because against the better teams, you better have the big toolbox, as I like to say, going in. And I don't know if that means that they have it, but I'm curious to see if they can build off that.
Chris, we know Saturdays are far different than Sundays. With all the dynamics at work on Saturday, if you were a playoff committee voter, would you hold it against Florida State that their terrific starting quarterback got hurt?
I would not hold it against them. I'd have to watch and see these next two games. You got to see, are they a different team? I think it's unfair to just assume, look, I'm human. Do I think they're going to be as good? No, I don't. But I need to go and watch them play against Florida, watch them play against Louisville in the ACC championship game. And if they, how they look there will determine where I go. Now, you didn't ask me this, so but I think it's fair to say this. I don't think Florida State's one of the four best teams in the country. I think Oregon, Texas, and Alabama are all better before the awful injury. Now, that's just my view, and I put more on the film grade tests. But I don't think it should be held against them, but it's pretty obvious if they don't look as good, it's going to be held against them. And I think at that point it should. If you don't look as good, you don't look as formidable, I think that's a part of it, even if they win the last couple of games.
Does what happens on the field then matter? And I ask it for this reason, Chris, because there are a lot of people that think Alabama looks better than Texas on film right now. They played. How much? I mean, that has to matter, right?
Well, it does, except for me, if the resumes are comparable, the head-to-head, it trumps all. So to me, that's why I said it the way I did. I could make a case that right now Alabama maybe looks a little bit better and maybe even a little healthier than Texas. But no, if it comes down to Texas or Alabama for me, it's Texas. We saw that game on the field. It doesn't matter then why play the game. So no, I think it's fair to look at it. Who's better in the eyes of the beholder or one thing when teams don't play one another. But when they've played and we know what happened, to me, that trumps it.
He's Chris Landry, LandryFootball.com. Follow him on Twitter/X at Landry Football. When there are times in which, like last year, let's be honest, TCU was unbeaten going into the Big 12 title game. But there were a lot of people that were like, come on now. If they face one of the big boys, they're going to get whacked. Look at them. They're smaller. Now, they showed a lot of people wrong with what they did to Michigan. When you look at the Pac-12 teams, who oftentimes are like, come on, they don't really play defense. They're smaller. They're not as physical. When you look at Washington, when you look at Oregon, do you see that, or do you go, oh, no, they're different this year?
No, I see Oregon differently. I think Oregon is very complete. I think they're very good. It doesn't mean that I think they beat Georgia or Michigan. I think those two teams are very, very good, maybe on a different level. But I think Oregon is really good, complete. They've not only got a good quarterback, they've got weapons. They can run it. They play good defense. They're physical at the line of scrimmage. Maybe more so than Washington, but I tell you what, Washington is not only explosive, but at least as we saw this past week against a very physical Oregon State team, defensively, they came up with key stops. I think they're both good. I think they're a different level good than even, say, TCU, which, remember, they won so many close games. You win them, that's fine. But, yeah, I think you could see a Washington and Oregon playing a Georgia or Michigan a little bit better, at least in my view.
Ohio State and Michigan. When you look at what Maryland did, they threw the ball, they were effective. Ohio State has the best receiving core maybe in the country. We know the method. Can Ohio State get it done?
Oh, absolutely. I think the thing that's affected, and don't tell Ryan Day this, I don't want to get the Lou Holtz treatment, but the reality is Ohio State in the past couple of years against Michigan are not as physical as Michigan. Michigan just bludgeoned them. And I think they know that. I think that's why that's been such a source of frustration. I think this team is more physical. I think they're good defensively. I think they really get after you. I like the way they're running the football. I think Kyle McCord is starting to develop a little bit more as a passer. I think that's the one thing that's maybe held Ohio State back this year is how good's the quarterback and how dynamic can they be there. I think they can. I think it's going to be a great game. And while everybody's just assuming Michigan's going to win, or a lot of people are, I think this game could be really close. I do favor Michigan at home, but I do think Ohio State is more equipped this year than the past couple of years to play toe-to-toe with the Michigan.
Don't you want to see, if you don't have a rooting interest in this game, don't you want to see Ohio State put Michigan behind? Michigan has not had really a pressure series on either side of the ball. You could argue maybe defensively late against Maryland for the first time last week, but they have not had a pressure series offensively, you could argue, all year. Wouldn't you love to see Ohio State up 6 late third quarter and the Michigan offense needing to move the ball, if not score points, for arguably the first time all year?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think that's what I look for, that style of game in the biggest moment, to have the drama of how do you handle it, the pressure of the moment. Absolutely. I'd like to see it. And just from what you're saying is, I can watch Michigan and I know they're good. People say, well, how do you know they're good? They haven't played anybody. If you got a trained eye, there's some people that are maybe 8-0, 9-0, just because they played a weak schedule. And then there's some people that are just good, and Michigan is good. But to your point, can they handle the pressure of the moment? Harbaugh's not going to be there. The quarterback play coming from behind, different than before. I mean, you see that a lot of times in basketball. You blow everybody out, but what if you have to make free throws down the stretch and you're in the pressure? I think that's what you're talking about. And absolutely, I don't want to see one team win decisively. I want to see this go down to the wire.
Well, we should have one of those tonight that'll go down to the wire. Who has the biggest advantage in this game?
I think Kansas City. Kansas City's at home. I think they're probably a little healthier. Hurts has played well, being injured, dealing with some of that. But I trust Kansas City in these big moments a little bit better. Their ability to adjust in-game schematically, if it needs some significant adjustments from the start of the game. I just trust them a little bit more, but I think this is a great precursor to what could be another Super Bowl match. Philadelphia would be just fine. They'll play well. I think this will be a lot of fun, but I trust Kansas City a little bit more just based upon what I've seen them do in big games.
I get that, but please tell me who they're going to throw the ball to if it's not 87. No. I'm serious, Chris. If let's just say it's third down, and for whatever reason on this particular play, they bracket Kelsey, they got him doubled, and they say to Mahomes, "You've got to go somewhere else." Who is somewhere else?
Yeah, it's what we've thought about all year long, and you wonder if it's going to be somebody step up. And I think it's going to be fill in the blank, one of the other guys. I think it's going to have to be. That's what it's going to have to be the rest of the year, because they don't have that go-to guy, that name guy. We've talked about you. They go out and prior to the trade deadline, get another one. They obviously are rolling with what they have, and they believe that they can win with defense, the running game, and that those younger guys will step up in pivotal moments. Maybe this is one of those times where we'll see who steps up. But, yeah, I don't know who it's going to be, because clearly, if you overplay Kelsey, somebody's going to be free. And the answer is very simple. It's the open guy, and who that's going to be. It's going to be intriguing to see.
Well, I'm curious if they'll be able to run. I mean, they're trying to run it, but it's tough to run against this Philadelphia team. As much as you want to get Pacheco in the run game, this is the Philadelphia Eagles defense. Not an easy team to run against, Chris.
Yeah, no, and a lot of what Andy likes to do, the screen game, the pass game, that's an extension of the run game. It is going to be a bigger challenge. What I like about games like this is that it does have a playoff feel, in that, to me, when you watch teams play during the course of the season, you can see them in some cases impose their will against other teams. But in games like this, it's how are you going to be able to craft a game plan and make an adjustment in a game where somebody takes something away? Are you good enough, as we've talked about with all teams? Do you have enough in your toolbox to be able to, okay, we're going to be able to do some things differently and adjust to it, and have the confidence in it to be able to do it? So I think that's what's great about games like this.
For what it's worth, temperatures in the low 40s, wind chills in the mid 30s, 15 to 20 mile an hour winds. It's going to be raining, a light rain throughout the game for Chiefs and Eagles. Very much a playoff look and feel. Chris Landry of Landry Football, LandryFootball.com. Follow him on Twix, Twitter/X @LandryFootball. Chris, happy Thanksgiving. All the best.
Happy Thanksgiving to you guys and to everyone out there. Thanks a bunch.
Miller and Moulton and Chris Landry joining us each week. Thanks so much for listening on our Thanksgiving week of shows right here on the Florida Sports Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again.
Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here.
Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com. Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6, and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. David, you would have loved that I had to run to Costco yesterday, and they must tell them to wear their football uniform. They can wear their football stuff if they want to.
Right.
As I'm leaving, you got at Costco, you got to, after you check out, you got to go through the line to make sure you're not stealing anything.
Right.
And the one lady had a Rangers jersey on.
Wow.
I was like, look at you. Look at you in your Rangers jersey. Tell me I can wear a jersey. You know, I'm wearing my Ranger jersey. To hell with your football.
Champs.
I think you mean New York.
New York, not Texas.
Oh.
Come on now. Do you really think anybody? I don't know if.
Well, that would have been even worse, I guess.
There's possibility. There's a lot of. There might be a Ranger fan in Florida. There might be one Texas Ranger fan. Exactly. Flawed. Now it's the reporters. Now it's the Costco employees. What's next? The priests? Two separate people in Josh Allen jerseys at church yesterday. Two, not sitting together. I looked. It wasn't like a father-son. Two separate men wearing Josh Allen jerseys at church yesterday. Now they got to go back with it next week.
Well, sure, because they won. Look at that. Supporting the D-backs. I like it. Yes, Deadstruck. That was a very nice line by Jenny Dell. I don't know how many people caught it when she was interviewing Dolly Parton. And she at one point turned to her and said, "What a way to make a living."
Oh, I was going to text you and go, it's Dolly Parton. It's not Taylor Swift. Come on, let's get on with the game.
We don't do a lot of that.
I know.
We don't do a lot of that.
I know.
Now, I mean, I will say we will usually once a year, if Peyton's at a Tennessee game, if he'll do it. He doesn't always want to come on. I mean, we ask, but he doesn't always say yes.
Hey, you might want to watch a game and have a drink.
Well, usually he'll come on if they're bad. He won't come on if they're good.
Why didn't he come on Saturday?
Hello. He had never met up.
I mean, I can't wait for Georgia to play a really good team, but they're getting methodical. They're getting like they're just like a machine right now.
It will be interesting to see if Alabama's defensive front can hang. Can they force? You know, I would like for someone to actually force Georgia to be one-dimensional once this year, whatever that dimension is. But that was a scrimmage Saturday. They toyed with Tennessee.
When Michigan was up 23-3, I thought I was having a really good Saturday.
I was so angry with myself, even though I started 2-0.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. Thanks so much for being with us, Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. A lot went on this weekend heading into the Thanksgiving weekend, and we spend 99% of our time talking football, college and pro. Couple of other things quickly. First off, did you pay any attention to the whole F1 race in Vegas?
I didn't watch any of it. I paid attention to it. I do know that hotels that were going for like thousands of dollars a night were going for pennies on the dollar as it came to race day. Tickets had dropped dramatically, and this thing was talked about as being a fiasco.
And the racing apparently was really good,
right,
even though the guy who won it absolutely hated everything about the event. and trashed the track before the race and the event. Hates that F1 is doing this. Doesn't like these temporary, made up courses. Hates it, and then went out and made a late pass and won. Apparently, it was good racing, but yes, not nearly as many people saw it. It's a 10-year commitment, by the way, they made. This isn't a, oh, well, that was cute, and we're not going to do it again. No, and in fact, F1 is like making Vegas like their North American headquarters. That's where they're going to sell their merchandise. And honestly, the F1's all in on Vegas. The race started at 1 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. local, and it's cold in that part of the country at 10 o'clock at night this time of year. I mean, the temperature drops 40 degrees in Vegas in 5 hours. So anyway,
and I don't know if they thought, around the times, because boxing events don't start till late. Vegas is a late night town.
Right. But the boxing event usually, between 11 midnight, midnight-ish. Right. So, but also, what's the key to boxing? Most of those events are what, Mark? They're indoors.
Well, correct.
Yeah. And they're a lot shorter. If the fight goes the distance, it's an hour. 12 rounds fight is an hour. So, anyway, another just quick off the path here. Did you see what happened at University of North Carolina over the weekend? It's a neat little story. So last year, North Carolina won the field hockey championship, and the star of the team was Erin Matson. They then hired her to be the head coach. She's 23. You know who just won the field hockey national championship this weekend?
North Carolina.
With their 23-year-old head coach, Erin Matson. Huh. So let me get this straight. We can trade for quarterbacks in the middle of the season. They can start games on like 2 days practice and they can win. We can fire coaches in the middle of the season, and teams in football can look completely different after we fire the coach, even though the playbook and everything's exactly the same. And we can hire somebody. So you graduated. Congratulations. How would you like to coach? Oh, okay. I'm just saying. I mean, I don't. Obviously, there's not everyone as special as her. There are certain kids that when they're playing, I say kids, but young athletes, when they're playing, and you go, that person's going to be a coach if they want to one day. Well, apparently they thought that of her. Yeah, at 22. No, we want you to be coached today.
Tough to get that kind of job out of college normally.
Yes.
Usually it's the grad assistant, the unpaid grad assistant.
Right. Exactly.
That's how you work your way up. And that's that's not just football. That's basketball. That's women's college hoop. That's how it goes.
Right. So anyway, she's 23 years old. She's won a national championship as a player and a head coach. Yeah. I don't know. Just thought it was an interesting story. Chiefs Eagles tonight. How come everybody is picking? No one's picking the Eagles. What am I missing? What am I missing? They're 8-1,
I understand, but it's Andy Reid it's Andy Reid coming off of a bye, David.
I'm just wondering, are we falling victim to, it's the Chiefs at home, it's Andy Reid off of a bye? Yeah, they don't normally play an 8-1 team off a bye. They normally play like the Raiders.
And I don't know. I don't see Pacheco being able to run the ball tonight. I mean, maybe they'll get the screen game going.
But I mean, nobody is picking the Eagles tonight. They're 8-1. How about this? Simple question to everyone. What kind of a game are you expecting tonight? Remember, the Super Bowl was 38-35. There were hardly any punts in the game. There were long possessions, too. I mean, I think the Eagles converted 6 tush pushes. It was at least 4 in the game. So do you expect it to be that high scoring like the last time we saw these teams?
Vegas isn't. Vegas is telling you 24-22.
So the over-under's 45 and a half?
Yeah.
Right. And so, 24-21, give or take a half. Right. Because it's 2.5 and it's 45 and a half. So they're basically saying, Chiefs, much like the Super Bowl, win it by a field goal. Okay.
But they're also saying 3 or 4 scores per team. Or a lot of field goals.
I mean,
but they are predicting a handful of punts in this game, David.
I mean, I understand Andy Reid's off a bye. So are the Eagles. I mean, who would you rather have? The Chiefs receivers against the Eagles corners or the Eagles receivers against the Chiefs corners? Now, the Chiefs defense has been terrific this year. This is the best defense under Andy Reid. This is Spag's best defense since he was with the Giants. I mean, they're playing great. I mean, teams are struggling to get to 20 against the Chiefs. And I do think this game will be I do think 24 will be the winning score. I have a hard time seeing both teams getting above 24. I do think this game will be dramatically different. I think the elements will play into it. I've been watching the local news throughout the broadcast here. It's going to be like 42, 43 degrees at kickoff, 15 to 20 mile an hour winds, a steady rain throughout the game. It's going to be lovely. Wind chill about 33 to 35 degrees.
For the record, some of the networks in the Kansas City area going with the full jersey, full Chiefs tie, full Chiefs garb. The others going with just the red.
Very different between the NBC and ABC affiliate. The ABC affiliate's just going with Chiefs colors. The NBC affiliate is wearing official Chiefs garb. I don't know if they're the official Chiefs station or what, but the sports guy is wearing a Chiefs jacket with a hood. He's got his Chiefs jersey on, and underneath you could see he has a Chiefs t-shirt.
If you think by listening to David's account of this that this is bothering him, you would be correct.
The weather guy
is damn near incensed over the local teams, news and weather people wearing local team garb.
Local weather guy has a Chiefs tie. Okay, not Chiefs colors, a Chiefs tie.
Of course he does.
Yeah.
Now, I think the news people, if they start putting jerseys and golf shirts on, that's a little much. But the sports guy, the weather girl, that's fine.
Well, also, I mean, it's regular season. I know it's a big one. They don't have, many of these, Super Bowl rematches. I mean, it's only the 7th one in league history. But it does bother me a little bit. I got to be honest. I need to lighten up, Francis. I come off like Clint Eastwood on the front porch with this one.
Bit.
I do.
A little bit.
I do. Mm-hmm. So, anyway, got that going for us tonight at Arrowhead or whatever the heck they call it. It'll be lovely conditions. It'll look and feel like football weather. I'll tell you that. Miller and Moulton.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best, and the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, hop into a few joy stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. Oh, I didn't see this. You see your boy Zinger's not getting his contract renewed?
Yes. Yeah, I texted with him yesterday. I don't think he was going to do it much longer, but I think he was caught by surprise. I think he thought he had a, like a 2-year renewal in him and them. Here's my question. Who do you hire? Who you hiring?
Nicholson.
Well, hey, Clark, come on now. I am not an ESPNer. I do need to lighten up on some things, but it is not an ESPN influence. Not at all. I trash ESPN regularly. Hell, I've trashed ESPN in an ESPN production meeting. So you definitely can't accuse me of that.
So, by the way, are they going to flex out?
When?
With the Vikes losing?
No, we're in. Bears, Vikings. No. Apparently they have to commit. It's like 12 days.
Yeah.
So we had to commit last week, I think, to Bears, Vikings. You know what? The one that really hurts us, though, that Bengals-Jags game was looking like a really nice game. And I think we just missed the deadline to flex out with Burrow getting hurt. I think we flexed in and then Burrow got hurt. So that's going to be a tough one for us.
Well, not for you, though.
No, it'd be awesome for me. Especially since SEC championship game Saturday is a day trip. So I fly in, fly back same day. And then a Monday night is a home game. So I'm home.
You stay in your bed every night that week?
Yeah.
You're like a 15-day stretch of staying in your own bed.
Well, I think it's like 9. I'm trying to think.
Well, no, because you get back Tuesday. So Tuesday, Tuesday through the Friday. That's not bad.
9-10. Yeah, it's like a 9-10 day stretch that I get.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough matchup to sell.
Cell Gaming in the Twitch chat room. You're darn right the Packers are in third in the NFC North.
Take it easy, big fella.
Get used to it.
Take it easy, big fella. Win a playoff game, okay? No, seriously. In your lifetime, win a playoff game. That's yet to happen.
Yes, it is.
So come on now.
Oh, I know.
Just take it in stride. There's no trash talk until you do something.
Have you seen Adam has an 8-team parlay that he's hit 7 legs on. He's got the Eagles tonight.
I know. Wow.
Just money line? Did he put it in?
Don't know.
Money line or spread, Adam?
What are the Giants doing beating the Commanders, screwing everything up? They had a real shot at the second overall pick. What the hell? Damn Commanders. 6 turnovers.
You know what I find fascinating, though, is that the difference between, you're going to be New Orleans, who's 19th drafting, or, the difference between the winner of that division and the second place team in the division where they'll draft, because they stick you way up for making the playoffs, even though the record's not there.
Right.
Money line. Wow.
All right, I'll pull for you. Why not? Here we go.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
"22 minutes until our time is up along the network. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. It's the Diamond District bonus hour for our longtime loyal audience in Southwest Florida. On this Thanksgiving week, we will take Thanksgiving Day off, and that is it. We will do a show on Black Friday. So there. Maybe we can be a distraction for you.
We don't really have much of a choice. I mean, let's enact a little truth to this show. We don't have a fleet of guest hosts that we could bring in to work Thursday, Friday. So Thursday is the best of show so that none of us have to work. Friday, Trent.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did you say we don't have a fleet of guest hosts?
Correct.
Okay. Do we have one?
No.
Felipe.
Well, we're not. Come on now. I mean, it's 4 hours. Okay, it's not 4 segments. It's 4 hours. Now, come on. Now, we've had people, by the way, who have volunteered. There's a guy in Tampa, a sports guy, who has said, "Hey, if you ever need somebody, okay." We'd probably have to throw something Dr. Roto's way, but he would come in. I don't know if he'd do 4. He'd do 2. I think.
Well, I can tell you right now, I'm looking for all of them on December 26th. Any guest that wants to join December 26th, I'll bring on Santa if he wants to talk about how tough the ride was.
Whether or not he was home schedule or road schedule the day before.
Exactly.
Okay. Fleet. I don't know. That just struck me as funny. Fleet. I'm looking for 1. Okay.
So are we, David.
Right.
So are we.
Never mind. Let me tell you, have we got a budget? All right. So here's what we're offering. An awful day, bad hours, little to no money. What do you say? Huh? We got listeners right now who'd be like, "I'll do it."
Exactly. That's what they think you're offering right now. They're going, "Wait a minute, you're going to have a listener show? We'll do that one."
I'll do it. All right, some quick hitters here. Did you think this at all when the Florida State quarterback got hurt? Did you think, what the hell's he doing running? Like, why'd they call a running play? What are they doing? I have to admit, I thought it.
I didn't. I
okay.
Just kept seeing a highlight or two of them losing, going, what in the hell is going on?
I think they were in shock for about a half an hour.
That's what I kind of took it as.
And then they recovered. Did you see how the Gators lost? Oh, wow.
I did something I don't normally do because it was on late Saturday, and I'd been having fun Saturday. And I got up early Sunday morning. I can't help it. I still wake up when I'm supposed to do this show, and it's very calm in my house, and there's no one to bother me. I rewatched the fourth quarter to make sure that I saw it right, if you know what I mean.
And there were great parts to the fourth quarter, gutty, and it was going to be the best win of his regime so far. 4th and 17.
4th and 17.
Not only that, the receiver button hooks up 2 yards shy of the sticks in the middle of the field. Okay, he catches the ball. How is nobody there to tackle him? He's 2 yards shy of the sticks.
I mean, he literally just got to run backwards and fall. There was no one near him.
He caught the
I mean,
ball.
that's true. There were guys all around him. It's not that.
Because when I'm watching the ball in the air and I see the receiver move in front of the yellow line, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he catches the ball, and I'm like, oh, where's the defenders? Oh, man. Tough. That would have made him bowl eligible, and everybody backs down. Also, late in the game, what happens? Mertz gets hurt. Backup, made plays. That was great.
Did a really nice job.
Yeah.
And then ATN goes out of bounds before that. They would have had to have Missouri would have had to have blown their timeout. That was just,
Right. Yep. Oh, man. Let's see what else. UCF lost a toughie. Miami lost another toughie, but they did play. I mean, Louisville, top 10, top 12, whatever you think of them. I mean, but they got beat late again.
What caught the Hail Mary, but got it to the 5.
Right. So, all right, prediction time. Coaches going to be fired. Eberflus in Chicago, yes or no?
Oh, yes.
Okay. I mean, remember, though, this regime hired him. I mean, if the GM fires him, he's the guy who hired him. That's an indictment of him, too. So that's why I asked. By the way, do you think it could get blown up in Carolina in a year?
No.
All right.
I don't.
Okay. You think Vrabel's in trouble? That's not going well.
Quarterback.
I know, and he's Mike
It's
Vrabel.
an aging team. They have gone through the roster in a short order there. I don't think so, but I could see where it could happen. I wouldn't.
Well, I wouldn't either, but we're making predictions here. I don't think so, but if you're going to do it, now would be the time, because this is when you're transitioning. Moving on from Tannehill, moving on from Derrick Henry in all likelihood. Don't know if D-Hop stays. I mean, this would be the transition time. Going to get high draft picks. But see, he won the power struggle after the GM traded A.J. Brown. He got him fired, and he basically handpicked the GM. So I think Vrabel's entrenched, but, they could end up with a top 5 pick.
I don't think he's happy there either, for what it's worth.
I do. I mean, he won the power struggle.
That's true, but I mean, the last 2 years.
By the way, they're right now, Tennessee's picking 6th.
Right. And
they're
only won 3 games
with some 3-8 teams. They're going to lose more games, if you know what I mean. I mean, they're very much a top 5 potential picking team.
Right. Ron Rivera,
he's done.
Yeah, I think
like
he would have
your comment earlier in the show. I think you made a great point, coming off of a horrendous loss to the Giants, that he could have been fired today, but they play on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and there's a part of me, quite frankly, I still would have fired him.
I don't know what the difference is. If you're going to fire him Friday, why wouldn't I'd fire him today? Worked in Vegas.
Yeah. Now, granted, they didn't have to play 72 plus hours later, so that's my only thing. But boy, and here I was last week trying to talk up Sam Howell, who had actually looked pretty good, like he was a developing young quarterback. Oh my goodness, he was a train wreck yesterday. Man, oh man. Boy, Bucks fans are down on Todd Bowles. They just don't.
They don't like him.
No, they don't. They don't like him.
That Houston game did everything to do that, David. That was the moment, because that was a game where their defense didn't come through. They blew the game, and he's supposed to be a defensive guy. And anybody that was a Todd Bowles fan left him in that fourth quarter, David.
Well, and also just where they would be in the standings if that had gone differently. They'd be 5-5. They'd actually be in first place. They'd own the tiebreaker on the Saints. I mean, that's
it. To me, it's that game. It's that fourth quarter that they're pinning on Todd Bowles.
Do you think Bucks fan is torn as to how they want the final 7 games to go? Because they could still win this division. Or do you think they're going, it's a quarterback-rich draft. How about we just stop messing around? Let's just go 6-11 and get one of those suckers.
That's where I'd be if I were a Buck fan. I know that's where you would have been, because you would have already traded Mike Evans.
Well, yes. Yes, I would have. I would have traded Devin White. Yeah, I don't think they're re-signing either.
Dallas would be in a much better position right now if David was the GM of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yes, I'd have a second, and I'd have a second, a third, and some other picks in our, holster heading into next year's draft. I would. By the way, here's the guy. I'm just throwing this out there for Tampa Bay because they could probably get in the top 5, but I don't think they get the top 3. How about the LSU quarterback at Tampa Bay? How about Jaden Daniels? 6'4", by the way. He's not as thick, but he's 6'4". That frame can
there's
thick.
room for that. There's room for that guy to get bigger.
Yeah, there's 15 pounds on that frame. It's like C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud can get thicker. Look at even Tua. All of a sudden Tua's got a butt and thighs that he didn't have before. You can put some weight on. So, what about Jaden Daniels, Tampa Bay? Huh? What do you think of that? I don't know why people aren't talking him up. First off, I don't care Bo Nix's stats and what have you. He's the best damn player in the country this year, the LSU quarterback. He's amazing. Amazing. But, all right. Any other coaches we're ready to fire? You think Salah's going to survive this?
I do. David, he has been the mouthpiece of that organization. He has been a good soldier.
Okay. Do you think maybe
Zach
the guy
is not his guy?
I
know
understand.
that.
But do you think it's possible that the guy he's been loyal to also gets fired? I mean, do we think Joe Douglas is going to survive this? Hey, Mekhi Becton got hurt again. That's a shocker. That was the 11th overall pick of a draft. That went well. Zach Wilson was the 2nd overall pick of the draft. We've had to mortgage the next draft and a half to recover from Zach Wilson. That's why we got Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. I mean, McDermott's off the hot seat for a week. Take a look at Buffalo's schedule the next month, by the way. Take a look at Philly's schedule after this. You want to go through it, talk about, hey, if you're the Lions, if you're a Cowboys fan, let me tell you, if the Chiefs can do you a solid tonight, then Philly hosts Buffalo, they host San Francisco, they go to Dallas, they go to Seattle. I mean, come on, it's a tough 5-game stretch. Kansas City, Buffalo, San Francisco, Dallas, and Seattle, 3 of the 5 on the road.
You could see 2 and 3 there all day long.
You could be a good team and go 2 and 3 in that stretch.
They are.
Now, they're going to win their last 3 games. They get the Giants twice in Arizona. I mean, if you're the Cowboys or the Lions or the Niners, for that matter, who are still thinking about, hey, we can win out. We did it last year. We could still be the one.
Now, the Cowboys have Washington this week, but then they play Seattle, Philadelphia, and Buffalo, and the Dolphins, and the Lions. Their 5-game stretch isn't any easier.
Right. But, the Eagles, the only team with a 1 in the right-hand column. Well, okay, now it really begins. And if they go 3 and 2 in these next 5, they'll be the 1 seed. Because they're winning their last 3. So that means they'll finish 6 and 2 from here. So they'll go 14 and 3. Oh, that'll get it done.
That will definitely get it done.
Unless Detroit's going to win out. I mean, come on. Which, let's not get crazy.
I hope that Detroit Cowboys game means something.
It will.
And I think it will, but I really hope it's for something big, like potentially for the 1 seed. That would be awesome. The ratings would be great. Everyone wins.
Oh, okay,
ratings are because the Cowboys are playing. All right, Trent, stop it. Just you've got to pump the brakes on ratings
Every time
and Lions.
I try to slip something in, you guys just bring me back to earth.
because the Lions have never and will never be a draw on television. They could win for the next decade, and they're not going to be a draw on television.
That's so cute. Lions, Cowboys. He thinks the Lions are contributing to the number in that game. That's
Right.
adorable.
Against what team? What are they called?
Right.
Alex?
America's team. I
Oh,
believe.
yeah, America's team.
By the way, did you guys see any of the Jerry Jones, Jimmy Johnson stuff yesterday?
Yes, I did.
They were pretending to like each other.
Well, key word there, pretending. Yep. I just can't believe they're actually giving Jerry Jones credit because he's finally putting Jimmy Johnson in the Cowboys Ring of Honor. Please, it's a disgrace.
Yeah, it's long overdue.
Yeah, give me a break. But, well, Jerry having to acknowledge that, well, we haven't done much since I fired him.
And I wish I never would have.
Right, but I'll never say it. But I'll never say it.
You can't.
So, all right, for those along the network, we're picking tonight Chiefs, Eagles.
I'm picking the Chiefs.
You know what?
It's Andy Reid off of a bye.
I know, Andy Reid off a bye. I know. Chiefs at home. I know. You know what? No Taylor Swift tonight. Okay, that's like kryptonite for Kelsey. I like the Eagles.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again.
Yeah, hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here. Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
seems like this Eagles-Chiefs game.
So
has a
we
lot
have 2 9-team parlays.
Yeah, that's
one 8 team, 1 9 team.
Wow.
Pretty wild.
And they both need the Eagles.
Adam just needs
West
needs
Coast.
money.
How much cash you talking here, and what's the can you cash out?
West Coast needs a cover for 2.5. Adam needs an outright Eagles win. Usually those two things go hand in hand, but every now and then
no, it's plus. So it can't go the other way. Well, I guess it could.
No,
yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying
yeah,
is
yeah,
like there's that weird razor thin.
Yeah.
Where it could.
Yeah, I'd be taking half what I'm going to win playing the Chiefs minus 2.5 tonight. I'd be hedging my bet if it was a lot of money.
I can't emotionally do it with that kind of stuff. I never have been in that situation because I know I'd just be a wreck.
I'd be hedging my bet. I'd be saying, that's fine. I'll take half.
Adam can cash out early for $1,900.
I'd be cashing out. But I'm a broke radio show host, so I need money.
I just think, yeah. I mean, if you go 7 for 8, that's impressive enough. Make the money and run. Also, I think for my generation, I think Mahomes, now that Brady's retired, Mahomes is the number 1 athlete in all sports that you just don't bet against. You know?
Yeah.
Because you could say LeBron, but he doesn't, like, it's not LeBron because he doesn't. I love LeBron, but I'm just starting to get up there. And I can't stand Mahomes. I don't like the cocky. I don't like all that stuff. But I picked him.
I don't like Patrick Mahomes.
No.
And he wears Dennis Rodman t-shirts to work. Someone explain that to me.
He doesn't like Patrick Mahomes.
Well,
I know there's so much to dislike.
He's the best player I've ever seen. Two things can be true. I picked him in fantasy.
Married his longtime girlfriend, didn't become rich and famous and leave her. You know, loyal to her, married, 2 kids, does the wholesome TV commercials.
I just don't like the front running. I don't like it.
Did you not like Peyton Manning?
I was okay with Peyton. I was fine with Peyton. But you got to know, like, when Peyton was doing his thing, I was little. Because, I mean, when he retired,
No, I know, but
16.
he's just on every commercial like Patrick. That's
fair.
You're the first person I've ever heard say they don't like Patrick.
I know.
I mean,
it's like saying you don't like Steph Curry.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't like Steph Curry because his daughter's annoying.
Here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the Diamond District bonus hour. Thanks so much for being with us on this Monday of Thanksgiving week. We will do a show Friday. We will. It's not Black Friday on this show. I mean, you know, we're not selling anything at a discount. But we're hoping that, you know, you partake. I mean, the show's still free after all. I mean, doesn't everybody want free on Black Friday?
I'll tell you what, we're going to do the show at 60% off from an effort standpoint.
We have a good guest list this week too. We kind of, you know, had to just tighten things up a little bit. So, you know, like tomorrow, David Sampson, Pat Kerwin, Bud Elliott. How about that for a Tuesday? That'll work.
Not bad
right?
for a Tuesday, David.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
That'll play, as we like to say. Speaking of that'll play, which is usually what you say when you stripe one down the middle. So Tiger's going to play.
Yeah, he's playing his event coming up here in December.
Yeah. I'll play that Hero World Challenge thing. Yeah. So one other golf note, they got rid of our buddy Azinger yesterday. NBC did. Who would you hire? Your NBC, you go in.
Is Justin Leonard theirs? Or are they just going to move him up to the number 1 slot?
Justin Leonard is theirs.
That's probably what they'll do.
Well, no. But I'm asking you.
Well,
who would you hire?
I'd call Phil. I'm not joking. I'd call Phil.
I love you. I did, because I would too. We're both and you and I both know there is no chance of that happening. But if you and I were calling the shots, we'd do it. We would.
Outside of that, I'm trying to think of a golfer that's in that age range that.
Okay, well, first
makes
off,
a difference, if you know what I mean. Someone that's in their late 40s, someone that's just kind of left the tour.
Okay, well, first off, do you have to go that demo? Let's face it, the golf demographic is older. Like, could you call Faldo? Listen, Faldo didn't leave on his own. Okay, as we saw, Faldo came back and did some work with Mike Tirico and NBC in the Open Championship. All right. I'll bet you if you called Nick Faldo would do it. In fact, I'd place a large amount of money on if you called Nick Faldo and said, hey, Nick, we need 2-3 years. Think about it. He get to do what? The Open Championship.
And that might be just enough to appeal to him.
And another Ryder Cup. Hey,
now,
if you give us 2 years,
It'll never happen. This is just me being silly. But as far as a name that's out there that people recognize, and I don't think he'd be good at it, and I don't think he would do it, John Daly. You want to spice up the booth? You want to go crazy? Give someone in there that actually could do something differently? That's what I'm trying to think. Who could change the way the game, the golf match is broadcast?
All right. Well,
that
listen.
Could entertain. Tony Romo.
I don't like him. Would you go Chambly?
I don't like know anybody that likes him. I wouldn't put someone on the air that has a negative Q rating.
But do you know any of those people who don't watch the Golf Channel because of him? Or do they watch? Does he have, and obviously not the same stratosphere, but is he one of those rare announcers that people go, he really bothers me, yet they keep watching? Cosell had that ability.
David, it's a fascinating concept because the golf audience is what it is. The golf audience doesn't change. Numbers in golf don't change with the exception of the Masters.
Right.
And now that Tiger Woods isn't playing, and
correct.
I know you just mentioned he's playing in his tournament, and that'll do a great rating. And if Tiger shows up in Augusta do a bigger number. If Tiger plays anywhere, it will do a bigger number. But we all know that there are only if there are more Tiger tournaments out there, there are a handful of them left. So to take him away, the golf audience it's the same audience every damn week. David, you might be right. I don't know if they leave for Brandel Chambly. They may just stick right around and watch and complain.
You know who I do like, who's also willing to be critical, which is I like an analyst who's willing to be critical. Not everything is roses. It's just not. David Duval, I enjoy. I think David Duval calls it straight. I do. I think David Duval would have no problem getting on a guy if he's faltering down the stretch of a tournament. Just throwing that out there. I think you're right. If I had to bet as to who it's going to be, I'm guessing it's Justin Leonard, former PGA champion, Ryder Cup hero. Right. They've been grooming him. Right.
I think he sounds better than Duval on the air for what it's worth. Just the voice. Okay. I don't think Duval has a great voice on the air.
Fair enough. Do you call Faraday back? Do you call him and say, hey, give him the lead analyst role? He's never been a lead analyst.
I'd love it. I don't see it happening.
Okay. Do you venture out to other networks? Is there a, how about one of these bloggers? You know, do you take somebody who's like in a secondary role at CBS? Who is it? Is it Nost? Cole Nost? Who I think is actually pretty good. I think he's better than the main analyst on CBS.
I think the CBS golf coverage is so bad I wouldn't go after any of them. I know they're the only ones that do it, and it's the gold standard, and I'm sure they do film work better than anyone else. I think their commentators are all bleh.
So
they all sound the same. They all say the same things to me. They bring nothing to the coverage. I think poor Nance is left on an island. I think he wants Romo back. It's so bad.
Hey, take it easy now.
I just wanted to make sure you're paying attention.
I'm definitely paying attention. When you go there, Nance is like, hey, I get to talk on this golf broadcast, though. This is kind of nice. Not used to that. So,
Jim! Sorry.
Yeah. So, I'm just curious as to what direction you would go. Do they stay in-house? Who's the one that they kept? Was it Rolfing? They got rid of Coke and kept Rolfing? Because they got rid of Roger and I thought it was Gary Koch last year. And so now they're getting rid of Azinger this year. So they're really, they're changing things here. Is there anybody who's on the Golf Channel that you like? That it's a big promotion to go from the Golf Channel to, NBC. And we're talking 2 majors here. Talking a Ryder Cup every other year. We're talking an Olympics every 4 years. I mean, it's the best or second.
It's a pretty good gig.
Yeah, best or second best gig in the sport. So that's all. Just curious. Entering a new era, if you will. We had Johnny Miller, we had Nick Faldo, and Paul Azinger basically be the analysts for golf for the last 20 years.
And now we're going to get Trevor Immelman and probably Justin Leonard. More than likely. That would be my bet.
Here's what I'm wondering. They're going to keep Dan Hicks? Because the one thing that happened, first time it happened too, Tirico and Faldo were doing the Open Championship at the same time that Hicks and Azinger were. And people enjoyed the Tirico-Faldo tandem more. It's the first time Dan Hicks got negative anything. In fact, the golf community was sticking up when Tirico went to NBC. They're like, hey, don't get rid of our Dan Hicks. I know you're giving Tirico, he's going to replace Al and he's hosting the Olympics, but, I don't want to lose Dan Hicks on golf. Last year's Open Championship in the Ryder Cup was the first time, Mark, that people were like, Tirico sounds better than Dan Hicks. And you have been saying for a long time, Mike Tirico's good at everything.
He's the best announcer that there is right now. Any sport. Tirico went and did hockey and was good. Hockey's not easy to just jump into and do. If you're used to doing it moves at a pace that's a lot faster than what he normally does. And he walked in and he was good at it.
Now, I don't think his voice is super strong. He is incredibly smooth. I mean, he's our generation Costas. I mean, there's not a misstep when he broadcasts at all. I don't think his voice, and yeah, I'm a little biased. Joe Buck's voice is strong. It cuts through everything every time. There's not a call in which his voice ever wavers and isn't strong in. Even Nance's voice sometimes struggles on football to get through the noise. Sean McDonough's voice cracks sometimes on the big call. Chris Fowler's voice is not a strong voice. He's very solid, but it's not a strong voice.
And I'm with you. Tirico doesn't have the Buck or the Al Michaels to do the moment. The moment.
Right.
Sometimes. But the fact of the matter is, for 3.5 hours, he's tight. It's
Yeah, he's
solid.
excellent. Yeah, he's awesome. He is. So, is that a sport in which you think the announcer actually matters? Kind of like, we think in local baseball, the announcer matters. It's a slower pace, it's 3 hours. The announcing team matters to us. I think it matters in golf.
Well, and I didn't think it mattered, period, David. But looking at what Monday Night Football's numbers are with Joe and Troy doing it, the games are a little better. They've gotten a little better schedule. But they have been significantly higher. So for me, it doesn't matter as much. But apparently it does to the general public more than it does to me.
I'm just wondering if the golf broadcast has a closer connection to a baseball broadcast, where the golf fans sitting down for 2 to 3 hours and we're spending time together, and therefore is the announcer more or less important? I don't know.
I don't know, because I think the point that you made about hating the announcer, all of my friends hated Johnny Miller. They never quit watching golf because of Johnny Miller. So maybe you're on to something with Brandel Chambly. It would drive me crazy, but they're going to watch and they're going to talk about it.
The tour players would hate it. Hate it.
Because they hate him.
Yes.
And that's probably the reason he would never, ever get it, because it matters to the golfers of who does it, because the relationship between the two sides is so very close. Thanks for listening. Miller and Moulton, the bonus hour.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Myers.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
What are your guys' thoughts on Ian Eagle?
Very good.
I'm a huge fan of his.
Very good. In the industry thinks he's amazing. I will say he's excellent in the room. Like, he's funny. Everybody in the industry likes him personally. He tells great stories. He's a really good banquet guy.
Yeah, I could see that.
Oh, Johnny Mac. It's just, it would, God, it'd be great if a network. Hey, listen, though, you see the grief sometimes Shaq and Barkley get from NBA players. Shaq and Barkley, who, whatever your list is, they're on it. 50, 75, you name it, they're on it. And they get grief from players because they don't like how critical they are sometimes. And you would think those guys would have the pedigree that they could do it.
I didn't realize they had to cancel one of the practice session staff one too for spectators. Okay, but Spitz, who made them entitled?
My buddy Butch is Iron Eagles football sponsor. He was Vern's last spotter. And he does Iron Eagles football and March Madness. Iron's got a different guy that does his Brooklyn Nets.
He is so good at college basketball.
Yeah, well, CBS finally gave him the main gig.
I mean, obviously, I'm biased towards college hoops, but you have to have great announcers for those tournament games because those clips live forever. Not that they don't in any other sport. I'm just saying, like the iconic March Madness shots and the one shining moment and all that stuff, you got to have a guy like Iron Eagle freaking out when it happens.
Adam, 1 a.m. is when that race began in the Eastern time zone. You're in the Central time zone, so it was midnight. But yeah, 1 a.m. in the East.
All right, here we go.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. The biggest college basketball week of the year in the 239 begins today. You've got both the Gulf Coast Showcase and the Fort Myers Tip-Off getting underway today. The showcase at Hertz Arena. Men's tournaments Monday through Wednesday. The women's tournaments Friday through Sunday. Caitlin Clark and Iowa coming to town. 3 games they'll play guaranteed. If they win Friday and FGCU wins Friday, Iowa FGCU Saturday. Just saying. And Mark, I got to hand it. Now, the teams and their fan bases deserve a lot of credit. But when the Fort Myers Tip-Off tipped off 6 years ago, how many times did you think that it would be a sellout. If they didn't have Duke, North Carolina, Kansas, Kentucky.
Actually, I'm sorry, because the way they sold me on this tournament is that they were going to have those teams every year. I thought this was going to be a home run every year. I mean, I remember when we interviewed the Intersport guys, and they're saying one thing on the air to us during the commercial breaks. They're going, I think we're getting this team. I think we're getting this team. I'm going, well,
Right.
This is going to be the biggest damn event that's ever happened in Southwest Florida. They're going to sell this out every year.
Now, I will say, horrible break for them and us, so to speak, was the one year they had Gonzaga and Kansas was the pandemic 2020 year. And they had to play that game before like 250 people. It was nationally televised on Fox, but, you know, I mean, Gonzaga and Kansas, for goodness sakes. But, you know, what do we have here? We got Wisconsin, Virginia, and we have West Virginia and SMU. These games Monday and Wednesday nights, they're sold out. 3,000, 3,500 is sold out. Now, there's other games during the day, Monday and Wednesday, and there's a women's tournament. And if you're into college, the women's field is phenomenal. I mean, honestly, phenomenal. Princeton lost to like a top 5 team by 2 yesterday. They've been a top 20 team for 15 years. And you got Tennessee and Indiana and Oklahoma. I mean, the women's field's outstanding. I mean, the women's college basketball that's going to be in the 239 between the Gulf Coast Showcase and the Fort Myers tip-off is actually going to be tremendous this week. So, got a bunch of mid-majors. The men's tournament at the Gulf Coast Showcase Monday through Wednesday is nothing but mid-majors, which is the same as the secondary tournament of the Fort Myers tip-off. That's nothing but mid-majors. But
FGCU men playing today as well. They're playing in a tournament in the Virgin Islands. They can't win.
They're off to a rough start.
I mean, they've been favored in their last 2 games and have lost both of the last 2 games.
Mark, they trailed Hampton by 24 at the half. 24.
They were a 10.5-point favorite in that game.
Yeah. I think they're 1-4 to start.
They are 1-4, and their one is Ave Maria, right?
Correct. And they trailed late in that one.
So, I mean, they haven't beaten a Division I team yet this year.
No. Off to a rough start.
And they're picked to be second in their conference. They're supposed to be a lot better.
Well, let's hope. Let's hope. Remember, last year, great non-conference, awful conference season. Let's hope if they're struggling, November, December is the time to struggle. Money times January, February. But
yes,
for the record,
I got you. But money time is March. Win your conference tournament. Get in your conference. All that you have to do for me during January and February is get in your conference tournament. It would be nice in November to win a couple of games so that people might actually want to come out and see you.
Well, I agree with
Because
that.
what they're doing right now is making them unwatchable. And Chambers was brought here to win, not in November, not in December, not in January, February. He's supposed to win. All I was told is how good this is going to be. So far, it has not lived up close to expectations, David.
They are 5-15 in their last 20 games.
Oofta.
Yeah, second half of last year and the start to this year. So, yep.
And a new AD coming in. I mean,
but it is early. I mean, you get this college hoops. November's a crazy month. I mean, you know, Brown nearly beat USC last night. It was tied with under 5 minutes to go. I mean, you know, just.
Well, USC lost another non-conference already.
I know, after beating K-State. Right. So, and USC lost FGCU last year. FGCU won at St. Bonaventure last year. That's why last year was so, wait a minute, what's going on? I thought this was a good team, and then it wasn't.
The Gators whipped up on FSU over the weekend. How about that?
Did you see that first half? Oh, it was like 52-20 or something ridiculous.
What was
like
that?
Wow. Yeah.
Nice win for the Gators.
No doubt. No doubt.
Can they get the sweep?
Well, I will say the Florida State women did rally to beat Florida women late, but yes, can the football team make it a sweep? It's a big ask. It's a big ask. But both teams with backup quarterbacks going into the game, how much does that help Florida out? Because let's face it, not having Travis, he was best player on the field for both teams, not going to be playing. That I know Mertz, you could argue, has been Florida's best player this year, but Travis was better than Mertz. If you were to make that trade, that helps Florida. Doesn't help Florida State. But now, though, let's face it, you're a little worried. Knowles fan was going to be a little worried just because the pressure was totally on them. But now, come on. They were going to be, double-digit favorites in both of their last two games? Right around 10, 9, 10, 11, something like that. But now, how confident are you Florida State can finish this off?
I'm more than 50% confident that they'll finish it off.
Okay. What were you before the quarterback got hurt?
99%.
Here's another interesting thing that you guys have kind of been talking about all morning, though, is there's not only pressure to finish it out, there's pressure to look good doing it, because if they don't, there's a great chance they'll leave them out of the playoff just because they don't have their quarterback, like you guys have been saying.
Listen, Florida State needs to walk that fine line. They can't come across as if they're talking as if they're definitely going to be 13-0 and Florida and Louisville are a foregone conclusion. But they need to get it out there. What Gary Danielson said on our show 2 hours and 20 minutes ago, wasn't it Cardell Jones who came off the bench for Ohio State and won a national championship? And wasn't he actually, most of that season, their third-string quarterback? And they won the Big Ten championship game in a rout, and they were down 21-6 and came back and beat Alabama, who was the 1 seed that year. Ohio State was the 4 seed the year Urban won the national title. And remember, people didn't think they should be in the game. They thought either TCU or Baylor should have gotten in for the Big 12 instead of them. That's what Florida State needs to use their media friends and go, hey, we can't be saying this, but you need to say this.
Right. This is where relationships matter, actually.
Right.
And how strong their relationships are. The problem that they face with the national media is that they don't have an ally on either side. Neither Fox or ESPN is interested in being their ally right now.
No, but you need some columnists. Okay, this is where you need, a Mike DeCourcy or, somebody, Bill Bender with the Sporting News. You need to find an ally, someone who's got a voice. How about a national talk show? Would that help? Would Tim Brando help?
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best, and the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few joy stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. Oh, that's cool. Stefanski gave that Jim Donovan the game ball.
Yeah. Yep. He was also the how the dog pound.
Right.
He was their honorary captain and
That's
smashed
cool.
the guitar and did the whole 9 yards. Do you think Florida State gets in?
If they're undefeated, man, I do.
It's so tough because they're already the 4, though. So they've already set.
Well, they're going to be the 5.
Okay.
I'm telling you right now, they're going to move them to the 5
tomorrow. But then, yeah, by default, Michigan or Ohio State will lose, and you think they'll back into the 4.
Right.
I hope so, because I don't think it's fair to just basically say F you to the rest of the team because their quarterback got hurt. But it is the reality, right? They're not a top 4 team without
No, I did not
Travis
go to Port Charlotte for Kogels. I'm really upset with the Kogels on the road people for not coming to Fort Myers anymore. It's my own personal. I don't get it. I don't know if they missed a place, but every time I went to the one in Fort Myers, it was lined up out the door every time they came down here. Bunch of fat Michigan people buying. I got you. There's a new, it's called Michigan Coney Island. It's across from Island Park in South Fort Myers. It's an old Pizza Hut, and then it was a Vietnamese place, but you can tell the building because it still looks like a Pizza Hut. And they serve a Detroit Coney dog, and it's legit. He's got a snap dog, too. It's not a Kogel, but it's got the casing on it. It's got the snap.
snaps like a Kogel. David, how's the weather in KC? I saw you just looked out the window.
It's lousy. It's mid-40s.
Are you downtown?
Yeah. I'm at the Lowe's.
I used to stay at the Marriott downtown there.
Nice.
There wasn't much in Kansas City when we were downtown. Was awful. There was nothing going on.
I went to Q39, which is Andy Reid's favorite barbecue joint, last night. I went with a longtime listener of the show, Dan, and his 2 brothers.
Did it live
That's
up to
after. That's after I met up with Jeff Mayer, who worked with at Waterman and produced the FGCU broadcast for years. Him and his wife Amy and their son, they treated him. This will be his first ever NFL game. I met them at the hotel yesterday. He was wearing a Pacheco jersey. He had never watched an NFL game before this year. Watched the game. Pacheco was the guy he Fell in love with. He said, "That's my guy." Okay. So Q39.
How was it?
It's in a strip mall. It was outstanding. It was described to me as a dump. It's not a dump, but it's in a strip mall. You'd be surprised. You'd be like, really? That's a great barbecue joint? Yeah.
David,
Spicy.
Future is 40 today.
I'm sorry, what?
Future is 40 today.
I would have guessed 35. There must be some Future joke that I don't get.
No. I just did it because David doesn't know who the hell we're talking about, and I didn't really know either.
Oh.
I kind.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes till the top of the hour, 16 until we're out of here. The Diamond District bonus hour edition of Miller and Moulton. Thanks for being with us. David Sampson, Pat Kerwin, Bud Elliott, all on the show tomorrow. We are doing a show on Black Friday.
Oh, we're doing it.
Oh, we're doing this. So, just you'll be out and about. Somebody will, guaranteed. Going golfing, going to sports, traveling maybe, going shopping. Just take us with you. That's all. Not like there's not football happening on Thanksgiving.
It's time for someone to take back this segment, if for no other reason than to stop David from talking about Meghan and Harry. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
We start in 1789 when New Jersey becomes the first state to ratify the Bill of Rights.
Yeah.
How you like me now?
It looks like a good idea. Are we in? Oh, we're in.
Hey, I'm going to sign this thing. You're going to sign it too, all right?
Hey, New York, Delaware, what the hell are you doing? Get over here.
1820, the whaling ship Essex is attacked and sunk by a sperm whale. It would be the inspiration for the novel Moby Dick. 1928, the Boston Garden opens. The Canadians beat the Bruins 1-0.
Did you ever go?
No.
I did. Had to. Took the mass transit and everything. The whole
Good for you.
experience. Yeah. Went to both a Celtics and a Bruins game. What a dump. What a joint. Just got to keep those places around.
1942, this is a little obscure one, but I loved it. The NHL abolishes regular season overtime until World War II is over. Hey, 3 periods is enough during wartime, boys. We're not going an extra session.
Wait, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. I'd actually think we'd want more entertainment. Wait, we're at war? Let's lessen the entertainment we provide. What?
They played 20-minute overtimes then.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, still, though, why are we shortening the entertainment?
I
Do you
don't
think
know.
Oh, well.
1945, the Nuremberg War trials began. 1958, Jim and Jane Henson established Muppets, Inc. Today in 66, Cabaret opens. Runs for 1,166 performances and wins 8 Tonys. What was that, David?
Life is a cabaret, oh chum.
Pele scores his 1,000th goal today in 1969. Today in 77, Walter Payton rushes for a mere 275 yards. Today in 82, Cal Stanford.
There you go. The band is on the field. Do you know Elway has never talked about it? 41 years later, he has never, ever talked about it.
That's ridiculous, by the way.
Yes. I mean, it's some
Come on. But don't you want to be the guy that gets the interview now?
Totally.
Put it this way. I would sacrifice the whole interview. If we ever somehow got him on, I'd be like, John, come on. Can we talk about the game? I mean, we can either end this right now or I can have the best interview that's ever happened. Can we please talk about the Cal Stanford game in 82? And he either hangs up the phone or talks about it.
It's his last college game because they were 5-5. They needed the win to be bowl eligible. His father was the head coach, right? He had led them down the field. They kicked the field goal. They thought the game was over. The officials were like, no, there's still time left on the clock. And because Stanford had run out onto the field celebrating, thinking the game was over, they got penalized 15 yards. So they were kicking off from their own 25. They squibbed the kick. They fielded it near midfield. Then the band is on the field.
1984, Mickey D's makes its 50 billionth hamburger.
Oh, really? What? Come on, you're just guessing.
If it's written down, it's got to be a fact.
Do you remember growing up when they used to keep track of how many they had served? And then they got to 100 million, and none of their signs had room for triple digits. And so they're like, yeah, we got to eliminate this.
Billions and billions served at that point.
Right.
Today in 88, BC beat Army in the first ever NCAA football game to be played in Europe. And today in 1999, Jeff Conine, the last original Florida Marlin, was traded to the Kansas City Royals. Kennesaw Mountain Landis, Robert F. Kennedy, Dwayne Allman, and Fife Dog, all born today. Joe Biden is 287 years old today. Now, President Biden's 81 today. Joe Walsh is 76. There's a couple of jokes right there, but I'll let him go. Mark Gastineau is 67. Joey Galloway is 52. And David Future is 40.
Happy birthday, Future.
I have a question. I have two, actually.
Okay.
Just curious. How old is the present and how old is past? I'll hang up and listen.
Well, I don't know, David, either of those answers, but Future is 40. And Fife Dog would have been 51.
Oh. Fife Dog. Today would have been the 76th anniversary for Queen Elizabeth there and her beau. They were married today in 47. You know, it's not Harry and Meghan, but, you know, got to get in my royals.
You've heard folks elsewhere mock Florida is gonna Florida. Well, Mark Miller sees it differently. He calls it the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
What are you talking about? I said Conine got traded to the Royals. I had already brought them up. We go to Colorado for the good today, where Madison Neal of Parker, Colorado, took her lunch break in her high school gym and made 9 half-court shots in a row. And the 17-year-old broke a Guinness Book World Record in doing so. So good for her. Guinness World Record in lunch break.
9 half-court shots in a row? Wow, even Steph Curry's going, damn, that's good.
For the bad, we go to Australia, where instead of taking a taxi, a 43-year-old man who was believed to be under the influence of alcohol crawled onto the metal racks beneath a truck, and he was going to hitch a 40-kilometer ride home. He ended up going 400 kilometers underneath the truck that was doing speeds of more than 80 miles an hour. Finally, the ugly. We go to jail in St. Louis, where 3 trespassers had to get rescued by police after accidentally locking themselves into a jail that they had broken into. Then they were arrested for breaking into the jail. Exactly. Can't fix stupid, David. Never have been, never will be able to. And that is the good, the bad, and the ugly on today, November the 20th, 2023.
Well, you and Trent have some college hoops this afternoon. I mean, we'll say it again. Gulf Coast Showcase, Hertz Arena. They've got an afternoon session. Fort Myers tip-off. They have an afternoon session with their mid-major teams that are playing. But 2:30 today out in Maui, ESPN2, Tennessee and Syracuse. 5 o'clock today, also in Maui, Purdue Gonzaga. And that's 2 against 11. So, got some good college hoops tonight if you're interested. Just saying. NHL, we've got 8 games tonight? 7 games tonight. Lightning are hosting Boston. Panthers are hosting Edmonton.
Yeah, I mean, go to either hockey game and you're seeing really good hockey, really good players tonight.
The Bruins are 13-1-2.
Bingo.
1 regulation loss in 16 games. Unbelievable. By the way, the Rangers have had 2 regulation losses in 15 games. They're in action in Dallas tonight. Don't tell Seth when we have him on Wednesday, but they beat the Devils over the weekend. Do you think he noticed? 8 games in the NBA tonight. Heat are in Chicago to face the Bulls. Game of the night's probably in Minnesota. It's the only game, I think, involving 2 teams with a winning record. Knicks against the Timberwolves. Do you know the Timberwolves are the best record in the Western Conference? They're 9-3. That's
Barely
your
knew they
bar.
were in the Western Conference.
Right. That's your bar trivia question of the day. There's apparently an important football game tonight in Kansas City.
Apparently.
Chiefs a 2.5-point favorite over the Eagles. Super Bowl rematch, only the 7th time that's ever happened, where the 2 teams who played in the year before Super Bowl are played in the regular season.
Vegas thinks it will be dramatically different than the Super Bowl. They have the over-under at 45.5. David already mentioned a 2.5-point Chief favorite in that game. So they're expecting a close, low-scoring game tonight, somewhere 24-21 in that range. Get you to 45. Andy Reid, 21-4, coming off of a bye. Things favoring the Chiefs in that regard, but as we've pointed out, where do the Chiefs and Mahomes go if they can somehow contain Kelsey?
The Eagles are 22-4 since the beginning of last year. Now the Chiefs are 21-5 in that same time period. So this is the second best 26-game stretch in Eagles history. Eagles started last year 9-1. With a win tonight, they'd be 9-1. So Eagles have scored on almost half their drives this year. 48% of their drives, they've scored points. I'm curious, Mark, if the Chiefs defensively slow them down a little bit. Don't you think, if it's when a really good offensive team starts getting slowed down a little bit, they get frustrated. They start, so that's something to keep in mind. The Eagles are used to every other time they step on the field, they're used to scoring points. Can they do that
points
tonight?
are they going to score tonight, though, David?
I understand.
That really becomes the question of which team's going to be able to convert into touchdowns.
Eagles average 28 points a game, 3rd most in the league. Miami and Dallas are the top 2 scoring teams in the league. So, just some numbers.
And this is the best Chiefs defense we've seen under Andy Reid.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. 21-3, by the way. I had said 4. My bad. He's 21-3 in the regular season off a bye. He's won 5 straight coming off a bye.
Chiefs are the second best defense in the league points-wise, averaging a little less than 16 points per game for their opposition.
By the way, they're only 13th offensively in points per game. So you got the 3rd highest scoring team and the 13th highest scoring team. Eagles and Chiefs in this game. Hey, listen, no Taylor Swift tonight. They were 4-0 with them. They're 3-2 without. Just you want to say Andy Reid off a bye? How about the Chiefs without Taylor? having fun. Take it easy.
It's a very good point because she was supposed to be there.
I mean, they're averaging 115 less yards per game. They're averaging 10 less points a game.
Little less pressure on Mahomes. He can throw the ball to somebody other than Kelsey tonight because she's not going to be there.
That's true.
Maybe Pacheco gets back in the offense a little bit tonight.
Let me ask a question. How close are we to the Kelseys having jumped the shark? I noticed it yesterday. Wow, they're in a lot of commercials.
You're just noticing that?
I did. I don't. Yes. I remember I work, I travel.
No, I understand.
I don't, but I watched a large continuous block of football with multiple screens. And so then when you're seeing the commercials, they air in multiple markets. And so I'm like, oh God, another Kelsey commercial. And it's, the two brothers and mom's in like 3 of them.
Well, mom's in them. He's doing the Pfizer ads. He's in the State Farm ad, which I think he does the best mimic of being ticked off about having to wear that jersey. I actually think he pulls that off really well. But to some people, yeah, they're probably eerily close to that jumping of the shark, David.
So I'm just wondering, is like tonight, it'll max out tonight. Obviously, there'll be a Kelsey on the field at all times and mom in the stands, probably with the Chiefs and Eagles jersey. So you like the Chiefs?
Yes.
I got the Eagles.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again. Yeah. Hi.